the day after President Joseph Boakai's second State of the Nations address. Good morning to all of you. His Excellency the President, I'm told, left the country right after the State of the Nations address to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, where a government delegation is trying to make Liberia's case. Every time our leaders travel to these international conferences, let's pray for them that they will be able to convince others to look our way. That way, all of us benefit. Welcome to the OK Morning Rush 99.5. Today is Tuesday, 28th January. I'm very sure I'm not making any mistake. Today should be the birthday of former President Charles Taylor. Today is the birthday of my friend and brother, Robert Jordu Clark. Robert is celebrating today. Happy birthday to you, Robert Clark. I want to join the second generation of journalists from Bong to say happy birthday to you. You're taking it for all of us. Jeff Manza, Armstrong B, Jared Siakol, Sankolo Bo, and the ones that followed, you know, Moses Bailey, Bavli Kamara, and, you know, and all of them, Josephine Zobe, Josephine Gegbeli, and all the other ones who followed us. I'm talking about the second generation. Should we call them the third generation? Robert, is it good to say that? Well, happy birthday to you, Jodu. Where is the birthday party? Where are we carrying it? Oh, these birthday boys. What is on a Tuesday? My name is Piso. We are here and we'll tell you what's going to happen. Today is a whole day of panel discussion. We'll introduce our panelists later. Remember, the beauty of life is not whether you are happy, but how others can be happy because of you. Multi-dimensional discussions in the public about the SONA, absence of the judiciary, and the other issues. It depends on who you talk to, different perspectives. In Nima County, a man killed his friend. Franklin Dolokwi will give us details. We are hearing a storm situation at the Central Agriculture Research Institute, destroyed several facilities. The Director General Kari, Dr. Ato Bokanua, will be on the show this morning via telephone from Bon County to tell us what the issues are. Good morning to all of you. All of you. The county meet don't lose sight. OKFM is one of the venues for the sale of the ticket. Avoid going in the line and, you know, all the holo balo. Just come to OKFM and purchase your ticket. Come and ask for Jacqueline Wolves. We're taking a very short break to be right back, my friend.
Banking Institute of Liberia, the training arm of the Liberia's Bankers Association and the Central Bank of Liberia, announces the commencement of its professional training program in the following categories. Professional development training. This targets graduate and seniors and degree holders. Courses we offered include microfinance, banking and finance, public accounting and finance, audit and internal controls, procurement and supply chain management, monitoring and evaluation, compliance and corporate risk management, work planning and report writing, office administration and organization management, customer service and human resource management, project planning and management, and computerized accounting, which includes QuickBooks, Excel, and Tally. Duration for this program is 3 months. Tuition is just US $275. The second program covers business development training. The Banking Institute of Liberia also offers training for high school graduates and college students in small business development and management and microfinance management. Duration for this program is just 2 months. Tuition stands at $205. All of our fees are payable in 3 installments. Training program at the Banking Institute of Liberia are facilitated by bank executives and financial experts. PRL is committed to providing professional training to all of its clients at international standards. For more information, visit the Institute's office on Warren and Kerry Street's intersection in the Old Market Finance Building of the Central Bank of Liberia. Banking Institute of Liberia, the Center of Excellence in Banking and Financial Management Training.
Service, internet service, fast reliable service for your home and your office. Unlimited service with the best coverage. You better choose Connect, Connect, Connect. Choose Connect, Connect, Connect.
Liberia, the sun is shining, and so are your opportunities to enjoy 24 hours current with Funny Brothers Corporation Solar Solution. Why let the power of the sun go to waste when you can make use of it to generate current for your home, business, or community? With our state-of-the-art solar panels, you will enjoy 24 hours uninterrupted power, reliable energy, a greener, cleaner Liberia. Funny Brothers Corporation Solar Solution offers top quality, durable, and affordable solar panels designed for Liberia's sunny climate. So why wait? Call us today on 0772 262584 or visit our showroom, Claretown or Umako Building adjacent the RB Bank. Funny Brothers Corporation Solar Solution. Let's power your future with the sun together.
The way you can be making your face, you can also.
You boy, I need money quick. I get too much expensive on my head this month and rat and I get.
So like everything I will tell you, tell Momo Loan, man.
Momo Loan? Mobile money get bank now?
No, Momo Loan like some kind of quick saving loan mobile money can give you. You can borrow up to 20,000 Liberian dollars at a very low interest rate and pay in 7 days, 28 days, or 30 days.
You joking?
So you see phone in my face? You can give me your phone, man. Dial star 156*6#.
Oh! It's like ABC, but how do I pay back?
Let's see when you credit, man. Just dial star 156*6# and select repay loan. Pay the poor money back.
I can credit again tomorrow?
You can borrow power. See your ways.
Whatever you need that little bit of money for, Momo Loan here for you. Dial star 156*6# today and take a loan.
MTN.
Everything make it crazy.
Toyo, my Toyota Prado. Toyo, my Toyota Prado. They get more in the morning, more in the same, bring back safely. They get more in the morning, more in the same, bring back quickly. Toyo, my Toyota Prado. Toyo, my Toyota Prado. They get more in the morning, more in the same, bring back safely. They get more in the morning, more in the same, bring back quickly.
For onward over, Toyota bring Cruiser Prado. I can run in the mud and sand, Toyota bring Cruiser Prado. For onward over, Toyota bring Cruiser Prado. I can run in the mud and sand. Toyota bring Land Cruiser Prado. That's why you can connect it one for yourself or your company car in the Prado. It get too much baggage. Electrical power, steering control. The car it got Prado. It can't lose. Toyota bring new generation of cars and Land Cruiser Prado. That one of the stars. You got motor selling Toyota cars. So if you want Prado, you just need to ask. Yeah. For on-road and off-road, Toyota bring Land Cruiser Prado. I can run in the mud and sand. Toyota bring Land Cruiser Prado. Toyota has brought a brand new Land Cruiser that is called Prado. And the Prado has a very beautiful design and it has a high power engine that can run in mud in heavy sand. And Siga Moto is the sole distributor of the latest Land Cruiser Prado. Siga Moto get the best garage in Iberia that can service, repair, and sell brand new parts. The thing that you can call spare part. Siga Moto una partner can come directly from the Toyota company in Japan. And Siga Moto is located on Brujo Island in Seyon Town community, right around Looking Town West too.
Well, what kind of problem here, so? The stomach kick all the time. They kick it again now. Care to pull on the traffic.
I say, pay, don't worry. There's a company here called Banjo Motors. Banjo Motors will take care of all of that. Don't worry. Banjo Motors. They can help you protect your vehicles, motorbikes, keke, and you just name it. Banjo Motors can also do live tracking. Banjo Motors protects your vehicle from theft and misuse.
Now the kind of company we've been waiting for to protect our motorbikes and our car, the keke and all.
Banjo Motors in the R Cafe building next to the J.J. Roberts United Methodist School at the corner of 11th Street and Coma Avenue in Cinco. So take the phone now and call Banjo Motors on 0778-886000. Again, 0778-886000 or 0888-881059. Again, 0888-881059. Banjo Motors is waiting for your call right now.
And the kind of company we've been waiting for to protect our motorbikes and our car, the keke and all.
Fierce fighting rages in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo city of Goma as rebels and the army exchange fire. All we can hear are gunshots around the city. One of Goma residents who has been trapped in his house since the weekend told the BBC. Residents shared videos of M23 rebels patrolling Goma's main streets following Sunday's lightning advance against the Congolese army that saw tens of thousands of people fleeing neighboring towns. The rebels say they are in control of the city, but the Congolese authorities dispute this. I listened to former spokesperson of former Congolese president Kabila, saying that the situation in Goma can be blamed on President Philip Tshisekedi. He said President Felix Tshisekedi has abandoned the army, and so the military is not happy with him. In Uganda, is it Uganda? No, in Zimbabwe, the war veterans in that country are calling for President Emerson Mnangagwa to step down. They say since 2017, since taking over the country in 2017, President Emerson Mnangagwa is doing nothing to improve the country's economic that will translate into improving their living standards. And so the war veterans there are calling on him to step down. I'm not happy about that because when you follow the trend of politics and military in Africa, when the war veterans are speaking or start speaking the way he spoke, just like he was very clever to say, if the president doesn't step down, we will use the Constitution to remove him. That for me is a rhetoric. You know, when you're talking about a war veteran, and then he comes out to say we will use the Constitution as a third eye pressing, I just think he was being political, you know. But you know, that is a warning sign for MSC Manangagwa. I think he needs to have a conversation. Apparently, the war veterans and others, who knew the war veterans could just be speaking for the military. They could be speaking the way the military think. So they put a war veteran in front to say, "You let our man know. You give him any warning sign. He refuses to listen. Then we know what to do." I'm speaking from experience, you know. There are a lot of footages that have come up from the M23 rebels marching through the main streets of Goma. Now, let's not lose sight of the county meet. Come to OKFM and you will get your county meet ticket instead of going on the lines and tussling with people. Just come and get your county meet ticket. The other thing about the county meet, and I think this is something that has been continuing, we need to stop it. A lot of these government officials think they're supposed to have the right to just enter the county meet without purchasing their ticket. You are wrong. Look, these are some of the ways these people raise money to do different things. If you are a government official, you want to go on our fee, buy your ticket. And some of them cannot even do not go alone. Some of them can go with 3, 4, some of them go pick up fill, some of them go with their cars filled. And they expect that everybody is supposed to fold their hands and they just walk in. No. That one, you do not exercise any authority over there. In fact, you should be able to patronize. If the ticket is being sold for $20, at least get $30 there and go in. I mean, pay for a few people around you to go in. But not to go over there as a government official and you demanding that you administer so and so. That thing, the ministerial position you got, it ain't give you any right to just enter that fee. Buy your VVIP ticket and go there. Buy your VIP ticket and go there. The point I'm making is pay and go and witness your game and stop being too much entitled to everything in the country. You got to pay and go there. Now, this morning, I'm not going to talk about the president's sona yesterday and the different things that happened there. The absence of the judiciary, and some of the things the president said versus some of the reactions. I'm not going to talk anything about it this morning. Why? I have a panel discussion coming up from straight 8 o'clock to 10, 2 hours. So I don't want to prejudice anything. I don't want to farm myself into it. I will be asking questions and we'll be discussing. And they will be discussing. So I don't want to have anything. But what I can tell you is tomorrow, beginning tomorrow, I will have my own say. You know, at that point, even if I brought another team of panelists for a panel discussion, probably will focus on education. I'm still trying to find experts. You know, like I said, you know, the budget and all these things. Once I get a hard copy of the budget, that's what we'll do. But for the state of the nation, I'm trying to find experts in education. You know, if you know any expert in education, you can send me a message and the person's name, and I will get to you because, you know, we want to make sure we talk to people here. Let's focus on the segment of the president's statement that the president's address to the nation that focuses on education. We can do all these kinds of things. What's this? We can do all these kinds of things, right? So that is it for that. So I'm not going to talk anything about it. They will come here and we will have a conversation. They will have a conversation. This morning, we will focus on particular things during our panel discussion. I've invited a team of 4. I've invited Abdullah Kiatama. Of course, most of the time he's here to talk from an independent perspective, but it depends on who you're talking to. And then this morning, we are bringing somebody from civil society, Mr. Lawrence Yelu. Lawrence Yelu is the executive director. Let me see. I want to be right. Lawrence Yelu is the executive director of Accountability Lab Liberia. So Mr. Lawrence Yelu will be here from the civil society. He will give us his perspective from civil society. Then we'll have Daniel Sano, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. And then we'll have Mr. Benedict Koluba. He's former Assistant Minister for Development and Planning from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. He comes from the CDC anchor. So we'll get somebody from the CDC, get somebody from the government. We have an independent president, and then we have somebody from civil society. That is the composition of the panelists this morning, and we'll have that discussion for 2 solid hours. And so I'm not going to have my head. We're having a say in the president's address because, like I said, yeah, that's true. That's why a lot of people tell me, they say even state security, some of them, they just feel entitled, they want to go on. Look, state security people, they assign to certain places. The other people, when you're not working that day, buy your ticket and go in. They press people, they whoever, except maybe you have their access pass. They can accredit, they can give accreditation to people, certain people. Those people, but they are an exemption. But if you don't have these passes and you don't have anything, I will carry on that fee. Either you don't go there, or you go, you pay your money and stop feeling that you are entitled, you got to go there free. It can't work that way. Yeah, so this morning we'll talk to Franklin Dolokwi about the situation, I think, in Zanyekei. I think somebody killed his friend in Zanyekei. Franklin Dolokwi will fill us in, and then Dr. Arthur Kanua, like I said, the Director General of the Central Agriculture Institute, will be on the line via phone. Yes, former President Taylor's birthday is today. Taylor was born January 28, I think, 1948. And of course, today is Robert Class' birthday. Ruling Party, Daniel Sanders, I'm from Ruling Party. Daniel Sanders, a government official from Ruling Party. So working on Ruling Party president, I'm calling an early young, but you leave me here. Okay, so that is it. So we will, not having too much thing to say this morning, we'll go straight into calling these different persons, because most of the discussion this morning should have centered around the State of the Nation's address, the state of the economy, some of the things the president said, and blah, 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 So since I'm taking myself, I want for the panelists to come here this morning and let's have a frank discussion on some of the issues. One other thing is not coming to my mind. I wanted to say something, but let's join Franklin Dolokwi from Nimba County to give us details. We're hearing that a man killed his friend in the Zanyekei area, and Franklin will give us the detail. Franklin, good morning.
Good morning, Clarence. Good morning.
Good morning, Franklin. Yeah, what is this story about a man killing his friend somewhere in Zan? I think it's in Zanyekei. Am I correct?
Yes, it's in Zanyekei district number 8. Where this other guy, the suspect came from another town, and he came in Zan. He came from Bowin, and he came in Zanyekei. But they have been accused of having this man that he killed his wife. They were in a relationship. So this time around, the suspect have gone. He was playing with, according to eyewitness account, he was having some play with his wife. They were playing outside. So the deceased, his name is Biking Mongo. So that how he came and saw him, say, remember, when the right has to play with my woman publicly. It was based on that they have a confusion, and the man, the deceased, the suspect who have been accused, he have gone and laid the deceased complaint backing Mongo complaint to the township on ground like, I'm just joking with this man's wife, but the way he engaged me, he abused me publicly, it was not good at her. I brought his complaint. So the township, according to the report, township going out, but then it's during the night time. When that day break, then we can go through this case. So based on that, the DC have gone the suspect have gone during the night hour to the DC house to engage in an old moment. I came to apologize to you, don't forget it. So according to our witness account, the suspect occurred on Neff, where he stabbed the DC or backing that he was playing with his wife, Sarah Stan, thereby pronouncing him dead when he was rushed at the Secretary Comprehensive Health Center in district number 7.
Where is the murder suspect, and where is the body?
The body is currently in Secretary as we speak, And the suspect, he wanted to escape, but he was arrested by the angry crowd. So as we speak, he is currently in security.
Okay, thank you, Franklin. In fact, as a matter of fact, the guy who was killed, his mother comes from Zambala. His mother name is Fatou Logon. She is married to one David Logon in Zambala. His mother is from Zambala.
So it seems to be that they are your in-law.
Yeah, they are my in-laws. I mean, to set the record straight, they are my in-laws. The guy who died is the guy who died. Mother is a wife to my in-laws, David Logan, and so I got a call. I got a call from the family last evening, and I too been placing a lot of calls around. But Franklin, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Clarence.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so yes, I'm very familiar with that case because I got a call from there. I didn't know the boy. All the time I spent there, I understand he went to his father's place. I didn't know him, but yes, they called me and I heard a cry in the town. They wanted to get me in the know that this is what happened. Our condolences. Every time I hear these starving and killing, it just ruin my day. You know, every time I think happening, I just picture the death of my son. It can break me down at some point. That somebody just pull out a knife and stab another person to death like that. Every time I hear these things, it can really pull my day. But again, it's okay. That's life. Franklin Dolokwi there from Nima County filling us in. We are about to talk to the Director General of the Central Agriculture Research Institute, CARI, Dr. Ato Bob Kanuan, to give us details. But let's take this break. We'll be right back.
The Banking Institute of Liberia, the training arm of the Liberia's Bankers Association and the Central Bank of Liberia, announces the commencement of its professional training program in the following categories. Professional development training. This targets graduate and seniors and degree holders. Courses we offered include microfinance, banking and finance, public accounting and finance, audit and internal controls, procurement and supply chain management, monitoring and evaluation, compliance and corporate risk management, work planning and report writing, office administration and organization management, customer service and human resource management, project planning and management, and computerized accounting, which includes QuickBooks, Excels, and Tally. Duration for this program is 3 months. Tuition is just US $275. The second program covers business development training. The Banking Institute of Liberia also offers training for high school graduates and college students in small business development and management and microfinance management. Duration for this program is just 2 months. Tuition stands at $205. All of our fees are payable in 3 installments. Training program at the Banking Institute of Liberia are facilitated by bank executives and financial experts. BRL is committed to providing professional training to all of its clients at international standards. For more information, visit the Institute's office on Warren and Kerry Street's intersection in the old Microfinance building of the Central Bank of Liberia. Banking Institute of Liberia, the Center of Excellence in Banking and Financial Management Training.
Oh yes, there are a lot of things with the Sona yesterday. Like I said, I will reserve all my comment and the panelists come from even from a diplomatic perspective, the seating capacity, the seating arrangement, all these kinds of things. So we'll talk about some of them tomorrow. We have now heard from the police as to whether it has concluded the investigation in the case involving Moses Garceau and that police officers. We want to know. We want to get to the bottom. We want to know what will come from the police. What are the issues? Who did what? We want to know. By the time we get signal that the Director General, the Director General of the Central Agriculture Institute, Dr. Ato Bob Kanuan, seem to be on the line now. Dr. Kanuan, you can just unmute your microphone or your phone. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Can you hear?
Yes, Dr. Kanoa, I'm hearing you and you are very live. How are you doing this morning from the Central Aquaculture Research Institute, by the way?
Thank you very much, Clarence. We are not doing very well. This place is completely devastated and destroyed. Since Saturday, we have been on the road and trying to do assessment, trying to clean up and trying to pack the things. But the destruction is very, very massive.
Now, Dr. Kanoa, yes, as I can see you on the TV, I see in your background there, I think that, I don't know what are some of the facility, but just tell us exactly what happened at Cary.
Thank you, Clarence. On the 24th of April, around 8:30 in the night, there was a heavy storm that struck Cary and destroyed more than 10 infrastructures and also quarters. The biotech lab, the laboratories, the sea lab, the offices, everything, the warehouse where we have everything was destroyed. I don't know near the biotech lab, but I wanted to show you the destruction. Just one example, but I don't know if you pick it up.
Go ahead. You are live. You are live on the TV. For the sake of the people who are watching you or who are watching the show from in and outside of the country, yeah, you can display one of the damaged facility. Let's see it.
Yeah, but I don't know how to display it. Do I need to turn the camera? I don't want to get disconnected.
No, it's okay. Okay, so if that is the case, then just leave it. We can talk to you like that. Now, what are you doing now? What is your administration doing? Because the laboratories are very important, considering that Cary is a research institution. These laboratories, some of them were renovated by the government and some by the government and its partners. You know, having done an assessment over there, talk to us about the level of damage and what are you doing to ensure these facilities are renovated, Dr. Kanoa?
The damages very, very, like all the laboratory equipment and the equipment for the biotech lab for future culture, where we do some research on banana, on cassava. All the equipment were damaged and destroyed by the. If you go to the seed lab, which was trying to siphon all the equipment we had there, for seed sorting, for seed health, everything were destroyed. Then when you go to the other buildings, it's just the same over and over. So what we have done is to do a complete assessment of the destructions, and we have informed the natural disasters management agent and also the Red Cross, the county officials and the government officials. Please try to help us, and also our donors partners for help. But the destruction is very much. About 95 states and their dependents are presently internally displaced. They have no place to stay. We are trying to do additions, assigning them to others that have a little place to stay. And some are already leaving because they have so the serious situations, and we are asking the government partners to really come in. The destruction is massive. If we do not receive help immediately, we constrain institute. But now what I want to do, so we have a lot of research materials in the field. It's a server that we are streaming, and we don't want to close the institution. So we are really calling on the government to please come to our aid. It is very serious.
It is very, even though I've not been there, but the way you speaking sound is very serious. Again, I said, considering Carrie being a research institution. Now, if you were talking about finances in terms of monetary value, what are we talking about in terms of the level of damage and what we need, to get it fixed? What are we talking about, Dr. Kanwa?
Preliminarily, we'll be talking about maybe 500,000, $500,000 to get this thing in and working for now. Which, if I tell you, Clarence, all the staff quarters, the roof is just taking on and split to another staff. More than the staff quarters have no roof, have no zinc. Besides that, you go to the laboratories. Everything, the windows, everything is shut. I don't know if you can see behind me this destruction here. Everything is destroyed. So, initially, most of the equipment, fertilizer, urea, the steel, soak waiting has turned to water. So, it is very, very massive.
Okay, Dr. Kalon, so just stay where you are. Just stay where you are for the signal, for the purpose of the signal, so we don't lose signal of you. He's talking about Dr. Kalon, are you saying at the moment nothing significant as far as research is concerned is being done at Cary as a result of this massive destruction?
No, research in the is going on because we have a field.
Dr. Kanwa, I see he's struggling. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. The destruction of now all the laboratory field where we get those the tree our entire greenhouse, everything is destroyed. The tree crop garden where we have all ceilings for cocoa, coffee, oil palm, everything is destroyed. So it's very, very massive. Yes.
Dr. Kanwan, thank you ever so much. I don't know, but thank you. At this stage, I can just say, Dr. Kanwan, thank you so much. Is there anything other thing you want to say before we let you go?
Thank you, Clarence. We appreciate you for having us this morning. And we can say we need to appeal to the government, to the Natural Disasters Management Agency, and other goodwills, citizens will, other donors, and please come to our aid. We really need help. In fact, as we wind is about to come down in Cary, and all the facilities, so everything will be flooded in our equipment are having difficulties at this particular time. So please, we want you to please, speak on our behalf, make some on our behalf because your radio station. Thank you very much, Clarence.
Thank you. Thank you. His name is Dr. Atobok Kanwa. He's the Director General of the Central Agricultural Research Institute in Swakoko, Bon County. He says that most of the workers there are not able to sleep in their places because the destruction. There was a storm. It destroyed most of the laboratories over there. Cary is a research institution. Yes, they do a lot of these things. They do some of the work in the field, but the scientists will have to come from the field and translate and collate the results of their assessment, all these kinds of things from the field to inform agriculture in the country as far as standards and best practices are concerned. And so if these facilities are damaged, it's serious. Dr. Kanwa is telling us they will need some $500,000, $500,000, not just to do renovation of the different houses, but to reset, to set up, some of the facilities, especially the laboratories that are destroyed, that got destroyed as a result of the situation. This is the OK Morning Rush. Let's take calls from you now as we set the basis for the arrival of our panelists this morning for the panel discussion. 0777-700-9950, 555-026-995, and 0555-995-995 are the numbers to call and be a part of the morning rush. Good morning.
Good morning, viewer Clarence.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Isaac Wilson, first to be called son of Kyoki. I'm joining you guys this morning for letter district of 14.
Yeah, Isaac.
I want to say thank you to you for bringing in those people who are your upcoming guests as a panel on the show this morning. We look forward of hearing some of the good things. But viewer Clarence, for the issue of the murder of Nima Kante, these are things that some of us, when we listen to on the radio, it just breaks us down every day, because there are some of the ways our family member lost their lives in this country. Most recently, like you read this on the radio, it breaks you down. Even me, it breaks me down. There is a way that some of us, our family lost their lives. That mysterious way people they ride over the fence. They see that they have power, and then they take away man's life. I think there should be justice for that young man. There is no reason a fellow like Brent should kill a friend for any other reason. So I think that the police should go in there. It should not be a town settlement issue. There should be a government involvement in it. And there should be justice for that young man. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you. This other line, do we have a caller? We don't. We'll go back here. Hello? 0777700995, 0555026995. I didn't talk too much today. I didn't even talk. We are waiting the panelists. Hello.
Good morning. That's Clarence Jack.
Yeah.
Let me say good morning to the people of Liberia.
Yeah.
Hey, McLean Render, and I join you from Blue Jay office.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, let me say to you, Sergeant Jackson, it is so good to wake up in the morning and then hear your motivational voice over the radio. While listening to you in my office here, it inspires us. It inspires the people of West Point and inspires the people of Liberia. However, I believe with the high level of killing, the government needs to take some precaution. It's hard to open a psychiatric home for people who kill, so to at least they can go there and be rehabilitated, but not to just put them into jail. I believe at the point in time we need to rehabilitate people who kill, because sometimes those people are saying, see what trauma. So when you take them, you put them in the cell too, also it will also damage them. And I want to say to you, thank you for Liberia, and thank you for everything that you do for the people of Liberia. Thank you so kindly.
Thank you. Hello? Are you there? Hello? Are you there? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, man, you man. Good morning. How you doing?
I want your money.
Your money.
No.
Okay, let's hear you. What you say, oh man?
Yeah, thank you so much. Make my info, Clarence. Thank you for the information from country, Clarence. It's too sad. And with the government trying to listen to the crowd of Clarence. You know why I let you, Clarence? You always get information of the wood Liberia. Yeah, the doctor in our place, I know the government will do something. You understand? I know people will depend on for the agricultural area. They will get beat at this own sport out there. They will say, I will know that the government coming in here. Or also, other business partner, international business partner will come in. Because it's made for the killing on Liberia is too much. Even too many they put this I know why Liberia got you over there.
Okay. Thank you, Omer. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence. Frank Gibson. I call from Paris.
Frank, good morning. What happened, Frank? Your energy dropping in a few days. I know you to be a very energized guy when you call.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not too well, man.
Oh,
I'm not
friend.
too well. Thank God I'm okay.
Friend, my man, when you're not well, you're not forced to be calling. So now you need to rest, oh, friend. Health come fresh, oh.
You're right. You're right. No, I'm not working this week. I'm working. I took some day off to rest a little bit, But, I like to listen to the program back home. I like to be informed. But, Clarence, I want to ask, please, if you can give the concerned Liberian in Paris 5 minutes of your time.
No problem.
We had a very serious national issue to tell the Liberian people. And through our spokesperson, I will try to contact him so he can get in touch with you. I need just 5 minutes of your time.
I can even give you 10-15 minutes tomorrow. I will call you after the show today, and then I'll tell you what we can do tomorrow.
No problem. I will appreciate that. I will
Thank do that, friend. Much. I will do that. There are people.
Thank you very much. That's just the information I want to pass through. But since the sooner will be discussed later, I will reserve my comment.
All right, my man, you're sick, ba. You sick. Take your tea and sleep. Yeah, you boy.
Thank you.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, let politics. Hello.
Karen, good morning.
Good morning.
Karen, it's my EPT game in the person of Nima County.
Okay.
And then a silent listener for a very long period of time. Well, I just decided to call you this morning because it's news from my own country, Nima, concerning that young man's death is it's very sorrowful and pitiful. We cannot be losing young people like this. So for me, let me protest that speaking I called Governor from West Point there that we need to open a psychiatric room. This country is going bad. People are getting frustrated because of living condition of the people get drinking now.
Okay.
At the end of the day, start regretting.
Okay, so let me hold you guys there. Let me take police spokesperson Cecilia Glickley Clark. She's just called me and probably she want to pass something. Madam spokesperson, good morning.
Good morning, Clarence, and good morning, Liberia. It's a pleasure.
Okay, Cici. What do you want to pass on?
Oh, I just want to inform the public that the investigation is ongoing concerning the scuffle between Moses Kaisewu and the police officer at the SKD last week. So, to ensure a very transparent investigation, we have invited the PL or requested the PL to send a representation so that they can start the investigation. But it already started because yesterday Moses was at the headquarters, and then, like I said, it started yesterday.
Okay, Cecilia. Thank you so much. Yeah. Any other thing you want us?
Yeah, in so doing, we just ask the public to remain calm and let the investigation go on. We can assure the public that the investigation.
Oh, Cecilia, you call, so I have to call you back. Yes, I'll have to do this in the interest of all of us. She says the police spokesperson, Cecilia Clark, says the investigation is ongoing. Yeah, Cecilia, go ahead.
Yeah, Clarence, I don't know when off, but I just, like I said, we want to assure the public that to ensure a transparent investigation, a transparent and open investigation. We have invited the press union to send a representation, and they will be there at 11 today with the PSD, the Professional Center Division, that has the oversight responsibility in that matter.
Okay. Now, recent one is aside from the Moses Gasso situation. Now you have told us the investigation is ongoing. Recently, after an investigation, I'm saying after an investigation because I'm quoting your release, you as the police dismissed some people and you told them to turn over government properties. Have they done so? And so if when the action is taken like that, you let them go, or you send them somewhere for prosecution, or what do you do?
Clarence, if you read the release, yes, they are supposed to turn over all government property, even if you are suspended. That is a standard operation at the Liberia National Police. And then after that, if an investigation, they went into investigation before they were suspended. So when they serve their suspension, when it's over, then of course he will be reinstated. As for the dismissed, he's already dismissed.
Okay. So I was asking whether... Okay, so he's already dismissed, so he's going. Okay, Cecilia, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Cecilia Clark is police spokesperson. She's talking to us about the case involving Moses Garceau and the police. After the investigation, we will see and hear the outcome. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, thank you. This is Momo Taylor from Painesville. Let me thank you for all what you spoke on this morning. But the president of the state of the nation, I know what people are all around the corridor saying that there was no chief justice or there was no associate justices. I believe that the president went to speak to the Liberian people, to tell we the Liberian people, we the common people, what he did in office for 1 year. So what I teach us is the associate justice or rule a lot of people out there. At least the president mentioned when across, and we're looking forward to some of the promises that he made to us. And we're looking forward for a very fruitful conversation with your panelists.
Okay. My man, I say, I know I want to talk on the State of the Nation thing. Don't push me. But I will just hold my peace. Hello?
Morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Well, my name is Charles Robert, and I'm in Monrovia.
My man, Uncle, yesterday the man fact check you, yo. The man say you're not in good standing, Why you laughing? My man, the man fact check you back.
So thank you, nephew. I appreciate the work of the fact checker, and it's a very good initiative, and it make people in the public space, whether you are a public official, a government official, citizen, when you're making statement, and you fact check your statement, or you gotta be concise and be to the point. You cannot fabricate, yeah. But again, on the other hand, I thought the fact checker, when I listened to them from the inception of their, of their fact checking. So when a statement is made by Clarence Jackson, I thought the first thing they do after they do the background, and get the contrary to the statement made by an individual. I thought they reached out to the individual. Like yesterday when I was listening to them, they said they reached out to Emmanuel Gongwe on numerous occasions, and when Emmanuel respond, they will update. But so I got confused. One Charles Robert was an exception. Because it's not only me. I think that's a format. That's what I see them doing most of the time. They reach out to the person. Most of the time here they say, oh, reach out to XY and reach out to the person and they respond and this and that. But they didn't really know what I was talking about. Yes, they reached out to the communication guy at the National Port Authority, and he gave them information. Still, they did not know what I'm still talking about. So I said, so, because listen, Clarence, when guests appear on your radio, they have 30 at least or 45 minutes to deliberate and say everything they want to say. They will say it to the point. When a call, like I saying, give me opportunity to go for more than 1 minute, but I only get 1 minute, so now 45 seconds. So you don't expect me to be lengthy. So I thought, from that background, they say, but that's not asking man for you to explain more what he's saying, to be fair to me. But that's not the point. My point is, I said, in 2023, Maryland did not account for more than 3 vessels. I thought I want to check. And then they reached out to the communication guy. The communication guy proved me contrary that Maryland account for more than 56 vessels. But now let me tell you the vessel we're talking about. And when I break it down, and the reason for the intent for that call was to discourage the legislature from giving the local port.
Oh, Charles Robert, it's unfortunate. Oh, sorry, my brother, you went off. Hello? Yeah?
Yeah, Clarence, this is Mr. B. calling me for the second time. You call me all because the police person was online.
No, I didn't really cut you. I only tried to lower the volume. I thought you were still on, but go ahead.
Yeah, Clarence, we have to be humble now because sometimes the credit can be enough. And so you have the opportunity to own radio. So let me say this. Our country is bleeding. Very, very, very bleeding. This country, we are poor. Nobody will bluff here, the country moving forward. We are replicating and it's sorry that our country has been there. So people are frustrated. Sometimes common thing that you don't expect people to do one thing, they will take the law into their own hand. So I think the community dweller, the community leader, for me, I will ask, let me put it simple, the community chairman, they should be able to go around advising the citizens of the rural community because that is not easy.
Okay. Thank you. Chara, I'll conclude. We will start ushering our panelists.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the intent for my call on that show was to discourage the legislature from giving the local port autonomy. So when I said that, and I said they did not recall more vessel or the lease vessel, I was talking about international vessels. So let me tell you the vessel, the amount of 56 vessel that Maryland put recorded in 2023. If you ask the people in Maryland, is it based upon this? Should we get you put autonomy? They will say no because they get one vessel called JTK, they get one vessel called Amovi, they get one vessel called LOE is even down. These are local vessels that does not even dock at the APM terminal port. They come from Amovo Pier, Power Branding, Power Chimone, how you call it, or Damora, then pull goods on the cement, gasoline business people go to Maryland and come back. These are the vessels they are talking about. And you cannot know that those vessels are running here back and forth. I know it. So the fact checker need to go beyond what I'm saying and they don't know that 156 vessel are not a vessel that I'm talking about. They're not continuous vessel.
Okay.
They're not long vessel. They're
Thank
not
you.
vessel that going. Listen, the port of Maryland and the port of Sano account for 1% of the revenue that the National Port Authority generate. The port of Buchanan account for 10% because they get metal steel. So there they get international vessel. Over there are local vessel.
Thank you. Thank you.
When I'm fair to me, they should reach out to me. Let me explain myself.
Thank you, Charles Robert. I'm not taking any more call. Two of our panelists are already here. Former Assistant Minister for Development Planning, Benedict Koluba, the Ganglotan Ball, is already here along with Deputy Minister Daniel Sando. We're waiting Abdullah Katama and Lawrence Yelu, but we'll start our discussion on a soft note until we can get them here. I wanted to say something before I go. My people, in as much as some of us may not be where we want to be, we may not be where we are, we thank God for the level. I want to say something. I am not in the business of being in people's inboxes and begging people for money. Anybody who sent you WhatsApp message or whatever message and say they're Clarence Jackson, their mom died. My mom died ever since. My mom died already. My mom died ever since. Yeah, my foster mother is still alive. I got other people I would call my mother, but my mother died ever since. My pa died. So when somebody saying message, say, oh, the message, Clarence say, mom died, I am not in people inboxes begging for money. 2 days ago, somebody was in battle speaker Fonati Kofa inbox, telling Fonati Kofa, oh, and Clarence Jackson, and using my picture and everything. Oh, I want to go banger for my anniversary. I get money. I'm not begging people to go banger. They were begging Fonati Kofa, acting that I'm the one. And then at the same time, they were in the inbox of the Minister of Agriculture. So they were engaging the Minister of Agriculture and engaging Fonati Kofa at the same time, say, Clarence Jackson, please help me with money. So when Fonati reached out to me, I said, no, that's not me. That's not me. And then the agriculture minister too reached out to me. I said, that's not me. So my people are begging you. I'm not begging people for money. Anybody can your embassy, they are Clarence Jackson, they want money, reach out to me. You don't have my number, please reach out to somebody. They man dupe Musa Dean the other day with 15K. They said that was me, that one is 80. Hey, let a man dupe you like a business. I'm not begging anybody for money. Okay, our panelists are here. We'll have a very good panel discussion today. 4 persons around the table. Today, for the first time, I decided, and moving forward, I will endeavor to always bring civil society. Let them, they have their own perspectives. Today, Mark Chris will place a really good spotlight on the President's State of the Nation's address yesterday. Former Assistant Minister Benedict Koluba, Lawrence Yelu is here. There's Accountability Lab Liberia Executive Director Abdullah Katamba. Of course, Abdullah will always be. I know one of my men will say, man, why you like Abdullah Katamba? I say, because sometimes the perspective is different. And of course, Deputy Minister Daniel Synod is here this morning. What are the issues? So we're not coming open Pandora box to just be talking everything about the state of the nation. We don't want to miss out on the main issue. So this morning, we are focusing on Let me see. We are focusing on these issues. These are the issues we are focusing on. The speech, we'll look at the generality of the speech. We'll look at the link to last year. Some of the things he said last year, did he repeat them? Did the president promise anything last year that he repeated again? We'll look at the economy of the country. We'll look at accountability, asset recovery, on accountability, all these things, and then we'll look at what will the speech really change as a result of the State of the Nation's address yesterday by the president. Will anything change? Now, to always be fair, I will tell these honorable people I will allot time. Because if I don't do it, somebody will talk more than a friend, and it will say the man set up or the man brought the man in to do the one. And I will also appeal to them that I know at some point people can interject because of discussion. You will now hold somebody's hand. Sometimes the other men want to toss in the bed. No. All I want can happen. But I know these people are people that we can depend on. So, gentlemen, we'll start from my far right here. I know all of you, but for the sake of our thousands of viewers around the world, please just introduce yourself. A lot of people going to private family or a job on getting BP. I forget you to know that.
I don't know
in Ganglotan, the cafe, then Fred. Let's hear you. Just introduce yourself.
I don't need microphone, right? I'm okay like that.
You need headphone?
Headphone.
Yeah, you don't need. Okay, but yeah, we'll do something. Yeah.
Well, my name is Benedict Colwa, like you said, former Assistant Minister for Development Planning, development expert, and a policy expert who has just come to volunteer to continue to make contribution to the government and to our country. So I see this as a service corps, and I will always do that. Whether I'm being paid or not, I will always do this.
But we'll get money to pay for
No, the government will pay me because, these kind of things are helping the government to change some policy
Maybe
direction.
Daniel will take it into consideration.
Yeah, something like that.
Let's hear you, sir. The men are start picking flower for already. We start you. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Clarence, and good morning, Liberia. I think it's I'm Lawrence Yelu, and I always like to say I'm a Liberian, and I will stay Liberian. I wouldn't change my nationality, and I'm also an anti-corruption expert, a rule of law.
You want to pull the mark off for your height?
Yeah, a rule of law expert, and as well as a governance expert. And I think as a civil society advocate, it's good to be sharing the panel. And Clarence, this is one of the best things that I've seen. It's always good to have the opposition, the ruling establishment, an independent voice and civil society. Yeah. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Lawrence. Let's hear you, my brother.
My name is
the man for whom I'm being crucified.
The man for whom I'm also being crucified. The man with whom I'm being crucified. But thank you to the audience and thank to folks listening. My name is Kiatama, special consultant to Clarence Jackson. Thank you very much.
Look at Paolo. I'm going to take your money there. Yeah, let's hear you.
Good morning, Clarence. My name is Daniel Sando. My name is Daniel Sando, and I'm the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information. It is good to be here this morning on OKFM to be sharing platform with two experts, private consultant to OKFM, and I think this initiative is geared towards strengthening the national conversation, and we are happy to be a part of this to be able to throw light on the President's presentation to the 55th National Legislature yesterday. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. So every time I go around the table for 5 minutes, or 20 minutes straight. So every time I go for 3 minutes, that 12 minutes straight. So that's how we'll be doing it. But it's okay. So we'll start with Lawrence Yelu, and that's how I'll be doing. I'll just be picking, but I'll make sure one person will not be the first to talk, and one person will not always be the last.
But the government will always be the first.
I can ask the man the first, say, how are the speech? No, Lawrence, let's hear your perspective, and this one I'm giving you 3 minutes because just introduction. The generality of the speech, you listen to everything the president said. What do you say about the speech? 3 minutes.
I think the first thing a Liberian needs to understand is that our education in this country needs to work for us. And a society that stems education and makes it practical, not theoretical education, makes in politics and propaganda, becomes beneficiary to the state. Having said that, I think on a general note, the speech was more futuristic. It was more a look back to last year, but not in its generality, because I thought at some point the speech spoke to more developmental pointers and gave a lot of numbers and didn't go beyond the quantitative values of those numbers to tell us the in-depth analysis. For example, if you say in agriculture you use 4,000 hectares of land, what does that mean for rice? So we needed to know how many tons of rice that has produced or will produce, so we can go beyond just the numbers and go to the qualitative values of those numbers. And I also thought that anti-corruption issues were not hammered. I thought the speech did not look at the heartbeat of governance in the country. And all of our country, we fought war in this country. Presidents have been dethroned simply because we said there were rampant corruption. And there is this grave issue, and I saw in the speech that I thought it was not addressed, which was the governance pointers towards respect for rule of law and how our security actors are responding to the respect of rule of law and rule of law within institutions, not as security and pointings. And I also thought that the overall speech was more motivational, but I thought youth development was also not hammered. I thought some of the figures given around youth development didn't point towards a futuristic, holistic, deep dive into what youth development meant based on educational gravitation to how young people can lead from one point to another and how their contribution will be felt in the country. I thought those were, for me, margins of punchlines that the president missed out on, and I thought on the overall it was motivational, but were not deeply motivational to the extent that numbers were grounding towards the actual pointing to what the education. That's why my premise was our educational issue, because most of the time, Clarence, these speeches are so much packed with a lot of grammar, but the practical reality of these speeches, and this is with over time. And the president pointed from the beginning that, look, we are almost 2 centuries. Trust me, how can you be almost 2 centuries and public services are not really being discussed in ways that there's public service accountability, and we are talking at a superficial level. I thought, for me, the speech should have been more anti-corruption driven. And as someone from the civil society, I thought the president didn't respect civil society and the media from his introduction. I thought he focused on other people and then bundled civil society, private sector, and the media and said local partner. What does that mean?
Okay, Yellow, thank you. You've exhausted your 3 minutes. Minister Daniel Sando, the generality of your boss's speech to the nation yesterday. 3 minutes.
Thank you, Clarence. Yesterday's speech was basically the fulfillment of a constitutional obligation that is bestowed upon the presidency of our country. So what did the president do yesterday? The president basically started by urging members of the legislature to see the country from where it was when he inherited it. And by that, the president gave a picture of what the country economy was. He goes on to narrate how the economy was in steep decline, Liberians were facing unprecedented hardship, unemployment was rising, and inflation was growing through the roof. That is the economy of the country that President Bouaka inherited, right? Growth was slow by 4.6%, and everything was happening out of the way. And so he gave that picture. What next did the president do? The president presented his legislative agenda for the ensuing year to the legislature, which for me, I think, were basically focused on what the government intends to achieve in the year ahead. He did that very, very brilliantly. The speech touched on a lot of key areas for the country. When you look at what the president outlined, the accomplishment of the government, the road infrastructure, which is very important. The president outlined the accomplishment in the health sector. He outlined his government accomplishment in the education sector, right? Talking about the one child, one chair policy for over 156 public schools across the country. Talk about the school feeding program that is geared towards providing food for students in primary schools across the country. So the president also gave a picture about what he intends, what he wants the legislature to do in the ensuing year. For example, he talked about some $3.6 billion investment that will be concluded, and when it is submitted before the legislature, he wants them to act speedily so that those investments can begin to be set into motion, create a job that we want to create for our people, and get the economy working.
Okay, Mr. Minister, let's hold you there. 3 minutes over. Kiatamba, let's hear you. Generally, man, what do you think?
I mean, you just trying out tension.
No, the man is telling you
I am a man opening when he's sleeping and wake up. Nice job. Oh, but look, honestly, I want to balance the conversation. I want to look at all sides of the debate. Especially, look, let me look at the generalities. First of all, like my brother Daniel said, the president has to fulfill his fiduciary and constitutional responsibility. That he did. Another one is just optical imagery. He did better than other speeches. He only asked for water one time. I mean, I give him credit for it. He asked for water too. You know, so there are no major public spectacle or embarrassment. It's important for the image in the presidency. It's very important. Nothing like that happening. So, and his delivery was better than in the past. Let's be honest. In the last two speeches, delivery was a little troubling, but this is better. And he set a legislative agenda. That's very important. Now, here is the other side. I don't think the president spoke well to the state of mind of the country and the state condition. He did. He spoke to it, but not deeper. What is the state of mind of the people? Do they think the rescue is going right? Did he resolve? Did he clarify their doubts? Those who are losing hope, did he restore hope? Did he inspire them? Those who said the first year looked shaking, the first year was shaking the Mandingo earring, the BB earring. Did he stabilize that earring to those things where people say, did he say, okay, those who spoil news of corruption and scandal, did he assure them that, look, I will be robust, I will crack down, and I'll set an example that will be the loudest and clearest message to those who want to exploit and misuse the power given to them. And the president, look, I always say this, President Baka mean well-intentioned. But do people around him, are they delivering on him? The president cannot run the whole country. Are these people actually delivering, fulfilling the obligations? Some of the problems are not president, these people who he thinks can do well, especially we got a coalition with a government that is a factional government. MDR get one, Yomdi Kangapo got one, Prince Moy got one. So this is a factional government. President Bagana knows 80% of the people who run in the country. Let's be honest. So he this year got to run his own government. So my thing is, I think the report, the presentation, like my brother Yellow said, what is the correlation? I took those actions now because of this. There are 10,000 new jobs. That was missing. The other one was look at the commitment of last year, State of the Union. Several commitments. One commitment was that there will be 10,000 technology job, full implementation of local government act of 2018. He needed to give an update. If I say I'll do this, the next statement should say, I have done this, or we're going to have remark. The other aspect was fight drugs and corruption in the public and private sector. The president should have said, look, here is my record. Since I came here last year, I said I'm going to fight drugs. I made 5 major milestones, achieved 5 major milestones. I made progress. I've moved the ball.
Okay,
in summary,
yeah,
the president it was a good start. We'll dive into details.
That's why
it was a good start.
I'm holding you there.
But I also feel
your
that
3 minutes over
okay,
before Yellow count 10 to you. let's listen to Benedict. 3 minutes. Yeah, we ain't counting anything. Yo. We are looking at
yeah. So let me. You know, it's interesting. For me, without restating or regurgitating what was the obvious, generally, I like to pick by, because before these conversations, sometimes I like to give historicize some of the things. During the elections, the United Party was very crafty to develop a catching phraseology or phrase, rescue. And so the bulk of the Liberian people who felt they needed other options, were misinterpreted by deceptions, took to that, look, we got to rescue this country from these people. And the first sooner, not much was expected, because it was expected that the president would tell the rescuers what would be the package that they will receive. Because when you rescue somebody, you rescue them with a package. And so the first sooner gave, then they'll say, yeah, the paper will do something. And so, but coming to the generality of the speech, if you look through the speech, first thing you start with is the naming and starting of the speech. They say rescue for development. It's almost like they were still in 2023. So the speech, just the name, the title, they didn't inspire the people. And then it gave them a loss of hope, because they are still waiting to be rescued, because the president was simply saying, we still need to rescue something before development comes. So what happened to the rescue in 2023? So just from the naming of the speech, there was a loss of direction. So they put themselves, you ask them what the president said, they don't know, because the rescue package has not come. But there is no hope of how the rescue package will come. The way I saw this, Sona, is like a restatement. It was centered around what I call the residual. You know, when you eat the balanced food, it was like the residual of the PAPD or the pro agenda interventions. Because there was nothing new. And I can, as we go through the details, I can tell you every project that the president ever named, we have signed those projects. I have not seen, and the only new thing he didn't talk about, maybe getting PhD at the University of Liberia. But everything today, I can give you the references when they were signed, how it happened. So generally, I would say, well, the speech was a lost hope for the rescuers, and it was just a restatement or the reading of CDC turnover note.
Okay. Thanks to all of you. Benedict Koluba, your 3 minutes is over. I like the way we're respecting the time. Like I said, I insist, I know at some point people will not agree on certain things. It makes a stuff. For those of you who are listening, we have 4 panelists here today. Lawrence Yelu, representing civil society, or comes from civil society. Abdullahi Kiatamba, our man, is always here. The Deputy Minister, Daniel Sando, is here. And of course, Benedict Koluba. At this point, we are going into specifics now. And so I will allot 5 minutes each. Gentlemen, I want for you to listen. Now we are on the economy. Benedict Koluba, you will start this. And I want you to listen. I'm going to read something, and then we ask a question, and then we give you 5 minutes.
Yeah, man, whole computer here.
Oh, yeah. You know I can talk with evidence.
The state of the economy. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam President Pro Tem, and esteemed members of the legislature, allow me to give you some perspectives to further understand where we are today. We inherited an economy in steep decline, with Liberians facing unprecedented hardships, including rising unemployment, inflation, and growing inequality. Before our administration, growth had slowed to just 4.6%, while inflation surged to double digits at 10.1%, driven largely by rising food and fuel prices. Mr. Minister, former Minister Benedict Koluba, let's talk about economy. Do you agree with the president? 5 minutes, 5 solid minutes.
So, in the first place, because of some of the toughness I will always try to respect tradition and speak to the writers of the speech, not the president. In the first place, when you are giving data to the president, you must give a baseline. And then you come to where you are. The president said that the economy slowed down to 4.1, right? It means he picked up from 4.1. But if you look at where CDC picked up the economy, it was around 2.1, 2.4. So it means there was a solid foundation of the economy. It such that means we were growing up to 5, but because of COVID, we came down to 4. So that is not an issue. What is the core issue here is, you talk about inflation. What is the meaning of the inflation? What is the meaning of all of the things you're talking about on the livelihood of the Liberian people? You're only saying the Liberian dollar is value today than before. I cannot answer that. I could tell you, use 3 minutes of my time and let the Liberian people call and say whether the Liberian dollar value more than before. Now, the speech writers need to be careful. If you go to the budget, 2025 budget, in the 2025 budget, in the fiscal outline, I'm going to read that because the budget is a law. On page, Minister Sandro, I will give you the page, so maybe you want to follow. Page II within the preface. Give me a chance to read this. They said the Liberian dollar is projected to depreciate against the US dollar on an average by 6.8% to 209 Liberian dollars to 1 USD in 2025, up from 195, and the average in 2024. The development is largely driven by persistent high demand for foreign exchange and blah, blah, blah. It goes on to say that the depreciation will continue up to 2029 with the exchange rate of 211. How come the budget that is a law is projecting by economists that Liberian dollar will depreciate against the US? Then somebody writes in the president's speech and say inflation is coming down, Liberian dollar is appreciating against the US dollar. Who are the economists? So what I can say to you on the economy is, on the state of the economy, we left a strong foundation. But what is happening is that people think that they want to take glory for something. There's something I call, as a practitioner, like what I call a dumb papyrus state of the economy. And that dumb papyrus state of the economy is almost like what we call dumper pawpaw. You're eating the pawpaw, you get thrown in the dumper, you don't care for it. When it grows and the pawpaw is beautiful, if it is on your land, you clean it. If it's somewhere in the street, the community chairman cleans it. So the economy here is going to grow, or things are happening not because of the strategic policy intervention of the government. It's because of the curiosity and the interaction of the citizenry. They want to move that life ahead. Any results that come from there, the government being the agent of development, the government takes the glory. This is a dumb papyrus state economy we are in right now. Nothing. If you read the president's speech, he didn't tell you what did they do to grow the GDP, to grow for the economy to grow to 5.1%. He didn't tell you what did they do to reduce inflation. This is just for the writers of the speech, what I call regurgitation. You guys see something somewhere, you read it and you put it there. But can they tell us in a policy framework what has the government done to be able to merit the growth rate of the economy or the inflation, which is a contradiction? Liberian dollar is depreciating against the US dollar. I didn't say it. The budget post say it. Page I in the preface. And that's why I posted on my page. The US rate will go as far as 211 according to them. So in the whole regime of the Unity Party for the next 4 or 5 years, don't expect US rate to come down.
But Benedict, before you go ahead, he also went on to say, we simply did not just recognize these challenges and their impact on our citizens. He said we took decisive action to increase salary of health workers, the police and teachers. We have taken steps necessary to restore economic stability and have made good progress.
What are those steps? Look, Macroeconomic stability, look, what we're doing is we call it haul and pull, push and pull. Simple economy. We got two currencies, US and LD.
Okay, sir, we'll hold you there.
Oh, but you interrupted with question, my man. No, my man.
Let's go to yellow. Lawrence, let's hear you. Interesting opinion. We are into it already. 5 minutes, Lawrence.
Thank you so much. You see, Clarence, and to my colleagues around the table, I think few things when you say the state of anything. Now, if you say the state of the economy, every time I read these speeches, and you see state of the economy, they always run towards US dollars and inflation, which is good. But what is the state of the economy as it affects the livelihood of the people? And I think this is where our politicians over time have not done justice. And I'm listening to my brother, and then he's talking more around what the CDC did. And this is why every time the particular ruling establishment does not like the civil society, because we push them towards making the state of the economy a practical reality for us to see. For example, if you say inflation, we want to know what the lending and borrowing rate, not just by those numbers, is it practical towards Liberian businesses? Clarence, I run a space up Kerry Street. The space is called iCampus. At one aspect of it, we are doing business development. And trust me, it is difficult for Liberian businesses to have borrowing from the banks because there's an image stamped by the Liberian government. Not just this government, but the government that have always come, they've made it to appear that Liberian businesses are not rep for borrowing, because when they take the money, they will carry it, and some of them will go elsewhere, but they don't look at the value or businesses that are doing well. They don't. So we have Lebanese and Indians and other people benefiting when you say that the inflation rate is at this. You have foreigners benefiting. You have an economy that is not technically in our hands. You have an economy where you have keke. It's not driven by Liberians. You have few Liberians in the market. Most of the keke are even owned by Fulanins and other people that are not Liberians. You have jobs that honor our law should be done by Liberians that are not done by Liberians. So when we say the state of the economy, what exactly are we saying? Are we just calling numbers? Look, Clarence and to my colleagues, until we can translate, and as I started my statement, I started very strong. Until our education can be translated into benefiting our citizens and start speaking grammar to justify our action when we are in government and when we are out of government. What we are doing is lip services to our people, and we are doing them disservices. So you can't come and tell us, oh, the economy is going high, but the typical person on the road, blacks factories are being controlled by Chinese. So what are you telling us? So you're telling us the state of the economy is about numbers rather than translation into the life of the people? Until we focus on education and people understand and unpack these languages, that when you say inflation, it should be fair. I should have more money in my pocket if you say more money in the bank and at my disposal. Clarence, one thing that was not in the speech, and I'm going to say here, let somebody call the central bank and verify. Let one of them call him. The treasury bill that they are offering, who are they offering it to? So if there's a state of the economy and the inflation is at this level, then you are saying to us that we have more money to invest in things like T-bill. So where's the money? So until these politicians stop the political rhetorics and stop stating numbers and talk about how it affects and translates into the transformation of the lives of Liberians. When you say taxi, I don't want to see Nigerian men in a taxi. When you go to Nigeria, I live in Ghana. You go in the market, the market is not being controlled by foreigners. If you have a company to open in Ghana, if a Ghanaian is not the head of that company, it will not open. Do we have a Liberianization law here? Yes, we do. If you're discussing the state of the economy, why are you not discussing these level things and what steps? Because if you came to rescue, then you should be able to look and microscope into the economy and see what the troubles are, and you rescue.
Mr. Lawrence, thank you. Unfortunately, Your 5 minutes is over. We will come back there. No, we're spending a lot of time on the economy. Don't worry. Mr. Abdullah Kiatamba, 5 minutes. I don't want to cheat anybody, so I'm too careful. Yeah.
So I think
we will spend more time on the economy.
I think the president presented the good package. There's a good package and some questions. One, 4,000, 6,000 hectares in agriculture is an improvement. I've always said the agriculture sector of this government is doing well. Investment in farmers, expanding technical support to farmers, mechanizing farming, the support of international funding is $5.8 million recently. I think agriculture has established the first time a national agricultural policy. So I think agriculture is actually, I'm impressed with agriculture. And agriculture is connected to the economy. You know, I think investing in farming, increasing hectares from 4,000 to 2,000 in a year is promising. It is a hopeful message. So on that note, I give the president a pat. The other one is, look, and I think Benedict himself admitted that Buckeye inherited a messed up economy from George Weah.
No.
Hold on. I come in.
We coming there.
No.
We coming there.
I'm here.
Just wait. We coming second round. Go ahead.
Don't say I won't say that. Say I'll respond to you.
Go ahead.
I will say it.
Go ahead.
I didn't say that.
Kiatama, can you please go ahead?
Because he said himself Buckeye said we inherited this number. He said, but we inherited from Ellie. But God deal with Ellie. He said they too inherited the same problem. It does not erase the fact that inherited problem from you. You just see, we too did it. We inherited the same from Ellie. So the point is, the fact is that there was a slow in the growth. That is a fact. So don't make it look like when you get to Buckeye was a glorious gold mine and everything was shiny and the milk was flowing in the town and he can't stop the milk from flowing. That's not true. And let's be honest about the discussion. So the other one is the price of rice and fuel. I think I see progress. I want the fact checkers to check that well because he said from $4.47 to $3.99. I'm looking at the practical issues on the conditions. These are bread and butter issues. That's what I want to focus on. I'm not interested in what Baga said about World Bank because World Bank is not on our table. World Bank not in the school. World Bank in our keke. The thing that in our life on our table is what I'm concerned about. And the other aspect is revenue generation, or growth in revenue generation, which is good. We can pay our teachers if our domestic resource mobilization strategy is failing. If there's an improvement, I think it is a good news. So I want to highlight the good news. I don't think this is a dystopia. Everything is falling apart. 1 year is relatively short, but let's recognize and acknowledge some of the steps. Look, Clarence, there are good people in this government. We cannot trash all their sacrifices for politics' sake. Let's recognize it, and let's also highlight the failings of the government. But let's be honest, the economy this president inherited was a mess up economy. Everything was in chaos. It was on the brinks. The economy was in, I mean, we know the number. Now, here's what I'll say. The problem I have with the economic aspects, the president didn't have anything but job creation. The economic conditions of our people is intersectional. The economy intersect with health. You can access health if you don't have means. You can go to school if you don't have means. You can sustain your family. I would have loved the president to say, because of our policy, 10,000 new jobs in this sector, 3,000 new jobs, 4,000 new jobs. But it is possible it is happening. One of the problems of the government is tracking their own accomplishment and cataloging it. So I think they have not done that well. And he's not telling us we will improve access to health. No, if you call these numbers, it seems to me at point the person engaged in a recitation of report from different agencies, they're highlighting shift in the policy, accomplishment, and milestone. If all the agencies say report, you just read it. No, we don't want you to read it. We want you to take from the report what is a major shift in policy. Which sector has been rescued because of your action? There should be a correlation between what is happening in these sectors and how is that leading to rescue and changing the life of people condition and telling the people, say, look, because of this sector, because of me empowering them, providing the resources, look what they have done. 10,000 new farmers, 10,000 new technical support to 3,000 farmers. These are the real numbers. I'm not looking for World Bank numbers, I'm looking for real numbers. And we have increased enrollment by 30% because of our policy on education. We have reduced access No, the data to patient ratio like 15,000 to 1. Because of my policy, we increase. He said he's increased salary of health workers. He said, what has that led to?
Okay, so what has that led to, Kiatama? We will hold you there.
Okay, no
we
problem.
will hold you there and go to Deputy Minister Daniel Sano. 5 minutes. Let's look at the economy.
So Clarence, not to do a commentary of what my good friend Katama has said about the economy, but I think it is important for us to look at what the government has accomplished, right? You can try to argue in the face of the fact that President Bouaga inherited an economy far more messy than what President Bouaga inherited from the former Unity Party government. That is an undisputable fact. So sometimes it is just good for us to, embrace the fact and move ahead with the national conversation. To sit here and play pretense to say, oh, you did this, you did. The facts are just contradictory to what you're saying. But I want to use my time to shed light on some point. Ours is a small economy. And the way you know that the government is investing in the local economy is by certain indicators. For example, the payment of civil servant, it became a problem for the former regime. Harmonization reduced the money in the pockets of the people. Like it or not, government is the biggest employer in Liberia. But government cannot employ everybody. How many jobs have the president created? Of course, the president outlined that the National Investment Commission is concluding conversation with investors, and he urged the legislature that when those instruments are submitted before them, they have to act expeditiously to ensure that over $3 billion investment can come in the economy. That will create jobs. That will create jobs for our people. Okay? So how have we managed to address the payment of civil servant salary to ensure that people begin to take pay even before the end of the month? That tells you that the economy is improving. Because if you cannot put money in the pocket of people, somebody who makes $200-300 will have to go to credit $100 with 25% interest. It reduces the money in the pocket of the people. Today, you have a situation where the Ministry of Finance is rolling out the payment of civil servant on a regular basis. Beyond that, there are folks in the security sector that have been underpaid. The budget we're now discussing here creates insurance coverage for over 5,000 police officers, which is good. I listened to my friend Katama talking about access to medical doctors. Many doctors are shy away from the sector because of low salary. What does the government seek to do about that? The salary tops up that we're talking about $250 US will be added on the salary of specialized medical professionals, which is good. Go to the education sector, for example. Volunteer teacher is a problem. When you read our speech on the segment that has to do with education, what did the president say? Beyond the one child, one chair policy, beyond the food for primary schools across the country, they have already begun to enroll volunteer teachers on government payroll. But that, new jobs have been created. Of course, the president didn't put a cap on it because some of the policies are just being set into motion. Like he said, 1 year was not sufficient time to grade the overall performance of the government. But good things are happening in the country. Good things are happening in the country. Of course, we know the central bank has said the current increase in the exchange rate is due to the post-holiday factor because there's a rush for US dollar because we want to restock the goods that were sold during the holiday season. So you expect that to happen. But they have said it is temporary. Have we not managed to instill some fiscal discipline? And I listened to my good friend, the former minister, talking about the president didn't state how they have managed to reduce inflation, how they have achieved a great rate of 5.1%. It is through the implementation of strong fiscal management policy. Strong fiscal management policy. During your time, the central bank was a bonanza for the government. They go there and take money. Today, all of those policies are being respected. Banks, government will issue you a check, you go to the bank, the check will bounce. There was no credibility. There was no integrity in the management of the fiscal sector of the country. What you see right now is that the commercial banks have not ran out of cash. 1 year on, commercial banks have not ran out of cash. That tells you there's some level of strong fiscal management that has been put into place by the government. And we can't sit there to deny these things.
Okay,
so good steps have been made.
Your 5 minutes.
Yeah,
But
good
I will
steps.
ask you one. I will ask you a question. Now, you were talking about $250. I know I hosted a team of medical doctors who came here and said they don't want the $250. As a matter of fact, what is in their employment letter is not what the government paying them. So they're not asking the government for favor. All they're asking the government for pay, or why you say you will pay. Or the next thing is, let's agree CDC harmonized civil servant salary. Since you came, have you increased it?
Of course, salary have been increased as of January. This January. So, what we have done.
But January,
I'm coming.
Going to pay for January, so we can see you.
Ministry of Finance started rolling out the payment of salary. So you talk about whether the government has done harmonization. Given the fact that the fiscal space is tight, it is not something that we can do just across all sectors of government. Right now, the government is targeting key sectors. Who are they? The security sector, the health sector, and the education sector.
Okay, so let's
the salary tops up that we're talking about here will take effect as of this January.
Thank you.
In these three sectors.
You were just answering the question. Your time was over. Benedict, you wanted to respond to something Kiatama was saying. I can give you 2 minutes if you still want to do that.
Yeah, just quick 2 points. I'd like to clarify that I didn't say that we gave a messy economy to President Bakai. I said, unlike where we picked up the economy from the growth rate of 2%, we left the economic growth quoted by the president himself at 4.1%.
Do you agree with that?
That's what I said. So we left a strong foundation of the economy. Then they left with us when he was vice president. That's why I said that's not messy. Economic growth of 4.something%. That's what the president said.
That.
So the other thing I want to mention is, look, Clarence, I like to come to this discussion with facts. That's why anytime I come, I got data to quote. For the minister, my colleague to just say the economy was messy, what do you mean? You say harmonization was bad. What do you mean? Have you revised harmonization? Maybe that's a conversation we need to go into. Because in the first place, you criticize us on harmonization. You are just explaining what you are doing. You are reinforcing harmonization. Because this is why we say the economy cannot absorb the exorbitant salary grade that the UP professed before. So we'll harmonize, create a stable environment. As the economy grows, we will be tapping up. Before we left, we put $5 million on the Ministry of Finance. Go to 2023 budget, 2024 budget that we submitted first. We have $5 million on the Ministry of Finance to top up for these same people. We drew the mathematics. In fact, we're going to start with health workers from rural communities. So when you come to this, that's why I like to come here, because I spend a lot of time making research. I like my colleagues to reference issues.
Thank you. You like your colleague to reference issue.
Can I respond?
Let me do a 1 minute if you want to respond. 1 minute. Yeah.
I think, look, there's something called sophistry. You're admitting, but you're acting like you're not admitting. I think that's what Benedict's doing. And no one get intimidated. I do a lot of research. Everybody do research. What you do with the research, you politicize the research. You made the research a partisan instrument or weapon. Then it will be questioned. Nobody questioned the research. What he said was that when they inherited the economy, they inherited the growth rate was low. But Baka is only saying, when I inherited from you, right now, to 1 year is better than when I inherited from you. That's true. That is a fact. That's the data.
Okay, Captain.
No.
You can't go there.
No, wait,
you said it was a message.
That's Captain conclude.
No, I'll answer mess.
Yeah.
The U.S. Investment Climate Report, they said the government of George Will were undermining growth. This is the climate investment report. I have the report. I can get to Benedict. Maybe he didn't research the report before coming to the studio. I'll offer him free. That is a fact. The voters vote on their economic conditions. They voted you out because they did not feel you manage the economy well. That is the best number you need.
Okay, let me hold you there.
So maybe we can turn the conversation into comparison of CDC and UP, right?
1 minute, Benedict.
What we want to do.
Guys, can you just hold on there? Lauren, you want to, because I want to do another round on economy. But let Lawrence come 1 minute.
You know, I agree with Kiatama that Benedict, the former minister, is agreeing that the numbers are right. Even if they had 2.1, and the president is reporting in his first year on 4.1.
Yes.
is the fact. Let's leave that. But I also want to comment on what the minister said.
You mean Minister Daniel Sano?
Daniel.
But we don't want minister.
We don't want minister.
Yeah, no, everyone said minister.
We don't want minister.
We don't want minister. Once a minister is always a minister. No, okay. For
minister around. Once a minister,
I am the host of the show, so let's attach the name. Yeah.
Okay. We attach it.
We said Minister Sano or Minister Koluba.
Yeah, Minister Sano said something, and I want for us to draw some disagreement. And the civic space should not be politicized when it's not true. And let me say what he said that is not true. He said new jobs will be created when volunteer teachers are enrolled onto payroll. That's not job creation. That's absolutely not job creation. All you are doing, you're trying to pay the people already on the job for what they've been doing voluntarily. And some of these kind of conversations are not conversations that we can bring to the studio simply because this is politics. That's propaganda. And to say, oh, I'm working for free already, and now you're putting me on the payroll to start paying me for what I've been doing. So in absentia, I've been employed. What you're doing now is the services that I've been rendering before, you are now paying me for those services. We cannot call that new employment. So I think one of the things that we need to pay close attention to is what kind of jobs, when the 3 billion comes, what kind of jobs will be created?
Okay, Lawrence, let's hold it there. So we're doing another round, 3 minutes again. Now, he says, in 2024, our economy demonstrated resilience and steady growth with a revised real GDP growth rate of 5.1%. Key sectors driving this growth include mining, agriculture, fisheries, and services. Strategic investments in infrastructure, the president said, and energy development supported by international partners, blah, 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 follow bolster this expansion. We have managed the inflation prudently, reducing it to 7.7 by the end of 2024, down from 10.1. Koluba, no. This time, Daniel Sano. What was the president talking about? Yeah.
Of course, Clarence, we all knew that.
Clarence, why you ask a question like that?
The mark. Yeah, because I have numbers. We want interpretation, yeah.
What the president is saying to you, Clarence Jackson, and the Liberian people is that $1 in your pocket today is more value than $1.
3 minutes, yeah.
Than $1 that you had in your pocket during the era of the CDC. Why? Because inflation has been reduced to a single digit, right? That's exactly what the president is telling you. That today the Liberian dollar has more value than what it had yesterday. But why is this important to be said? Because we are moving towards a point where people can begin to trust our financial system.
Do you still think the Liberian dollar is value and will continue to be value when Benedict was quoting the budget there that there will be some depreciation? He was quoting your own budget.
I don't know the source that Benedict comes from a place where people have the tendency of manipulating information. And when I want to, without verifying what he has in the black laptop, I would not want to validate it. Okay?
Go ahead.
So the international partners now trust the system. Katama just referenced this report that said that the former government was undermining.
The report what Katama told a boy, he showed that when you referencing.
Katama is an independent person. You have that report.
No, you have the report. I beg you, let him talk for himself, please. Katama, please let him talk, man. I beg you. No. Let him talk. Go ahead. Can you please go ahead?
So yes, that's what the president is referencing, because that's how you know that the economy is making progress. That's how you know that the economy is stable, because people, what are the indicators that people look at when they talk about the status of the economy? Look at inflation. It's a key factor. So the fact that his administration, in just under 1 year, has been able to reduce inflation from a double digit. Mind you, the CDC-led government, after they took over the country in 2018, inflation went to 30%. When they retreated to the IMF policy, and based on intervention, they began to drop, and we made it at 10.1%. Today, because of the strong fiscal discipline that the administration has prioritized, inflation is at a single digit. So it's a good indication for us. So when you talk about the status of the economy, inflation is one of the indicators that experts will look at to say, yes, the economy is good or is in trouble or what have you. I think that's what the president was saying, Clarence.
Okay, 3 minutes. Kiatama, we'll end the one with Koluba and then we'll move on to accountability in the president's speech. Let's hear it.
Look, let's be honest. This government policy, no matter how well intentioned, has not trickled down to ordinary people.
You think so?
Oh, of course. Let's be honest. You know, like we said, it's a real life experience. It has not trickled down. And I think they need to focus on it. My advice would be to them, stop talking numbers and start changing lives. Stop talking number and start changing lives. Start improving people's life. Because number is a good refuge for bureaucrats and policymakers. But it is not a good experience for ordinary people. And we have to tell them. Look, one of the things, when they had this technology thing, I would have thought the president would have mentioned that in his speech that, look, because of this 10,000 training for young people technology, the training has taken place.
He did that.
But the impact of it. He mentioned it. We're talking about impact.
Receive funding as well.
We're talking about impact. Receiving funding is not a solution.
Seed funding.
The country has always had money, but it's been misused, been misapplied. Let's be honest. So tell me the impact. How many of these people have been training? Are they put to work? Have they improved their condition? So there's not a correlation between what they are doing. And I think it's probably the speechwriters. Speechwriters are not finding they are giving these kind of speeches that are drenched in generalities and lacking substantive specifics. Look, let's impact. Go to every sector and tell me what is the impact on the sector. Go to agriculture. Say on this note, I can tell you there's a growth of investment in farmers by 20%. There is a growth of mechanized farming by 30%. That is the number one to see. And that means that every household, every 10 households, out of 10, 2 households now have farmers that have the capacity that we are invested in. But that is not their reality. And this is important message as a suggestion and a recommendation. If they don't do this, at the end of this year, this government, let's be honest, is getting unpopular. And people underestimate it is getting unpopular in the streets. After 1 year, the honeymoon would have been over. The romance and bromance would have gone. They will have to face the reality. And when you lose the people to get them back, Clarence, it's hard. So I'm trying to tell them, on the issue, look at the major areas where they were propelled to power. One issue of accountability. We see as a recovery has gone into.
We'll come in there, don't worry.
Okay. So I'm trying to tell you, the economy is intersectional. The policy direction, this aspect, agriculture, these pieces are combining to tell a full story. If they keep talking about aspirational goal, not realistic. You want to paint a picture of reality, not aspirational. But if the message is drenched in aspirational posturing, it will cause them damage. My suggestion would be, they have done some good work, focus on the outcome of each of those work, leave these generalities, and tell us what has changed. Don't be telling us we will do this. By the time you start talking about we will in 1 year time, we say we have. Move from we will to we have. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Not until we conclude on the table.
Minister, hold
Your
on.
3 minute yellow. Yeah. Now until we conclude,
so
sir.
I think political expediency is a troublesome culture built by politicians in this country to mesmerize and confuse the Liberian people. Yesterday, Minister Toure was in one of your sisters' station and using graph to explain the economic impact of their policy, which is the PAPD, on the lives of the Liberian. Today, we have a president, and I agree with Minister Koluba at some point, that the people who wrote the speech at some point didn't do us justice. You just stating numbers, and these numbers are not turning into the real life experience of the people. And then you come and just be stating numbers. And you know, with good in this country, people think that, when you go to school and you did science, you are more intelligent than people who did sports. So until we can change this kind of culture and flip it around, that every intellect is important in this country, it becomes a troublesome space. The president says something in his speech, which I want to see it translated into reality. He said he wants to see a government of inclusion. I'm not quoting it verbatim. That is, our politics in election is bad, that the winner that wins one and that wins all. He wants to bring other people in the government. We are going to hold the president to that account simply because you cannot think that everybody in UP
are sensible and developmentally astute when UP wins to run this country. The same with the CDC, because these are the two political parties since 2005 that have been having the political. Ketama, when the president mentioned the 10,000 youth in ICT, I thought that was a laughable part of the speech.
You thought it was laughable?
It's very laughable.
Why?
What have you trained them in? Cybersecurity? What is that? What is it that you are trained? Look, we do a lot of ICT training. 1 year.
I think it's the rudiment, fundamentals.
It was not even 1 year that they got. They got less than 1 year.
No, they got less than
10 days.
You should
not 10 days.
Not 6 months.
I said 10 days.
All I'm saying,
found out about not 10 days. Call about man.
Call about 10 days.
I don't lie. I give you evidence.
Go ahead.
Not 10
Now
days.
coming to you, don't steal yellow
But
time, man.
my point I'm raising here is we cannot come to this country and romanticize the mental astuteness of young people by saying you've trained them in ICT, 10,000 of them, not just 10,000, they say over 10,000. That's why it's in the speech. And then you gave them seed funding. How much is it that you gave them? There's an accountability component to it. And where in this country are they so that we can be able to map them? Look, all of this is starting to what you call the job creation. Because if you give it to these young people, they will employ people. It means that you are stimulating private sector. And that is youth aspect of the private sector. I thought that was the most laughable part of the speech. And the speech writer need to know that when you are writing these things, some of us who are in youth development and working hard to make sure that young people get this kind of knowledge, you cannot train over 10,000 persons with ICT knowledge and give them seed funding in less than 6 months or 6 months. That is not the reality. The quick fix solution in this country has got to stop.
Okay,
and that's where civil society always comes from.
Let's conclude with Minister Benedict Koluba. 3 minutes, sir.
So, Clarence, I will suggest something to you. We can do fundraising on that. I need you to put a big television screen here connected to internet.
Somebody sent me a message, say it was just 10 days. Somebody sent me a message.
That's what I said 10 days.
I will reach out to make sure you
I said,
go
I can't lie.
Go ahead.
But not even spoke that.
I want to.
No, that you even know, and I think telecommunication. Yeah, but go ahead. Let's protect Benedict.
So I'm suggesting you put a big screen here connected to internet.
Yeah.
And we can have another staff sitting here. Anytime somebody talk, we
just
can go there and find it.
No, but we'll get fact check or they listening.
No, I got one some prompting. We can do fundraising.
I mean, 3 minutes go.
No, I got laying basis. Now, let me say this. The minister, everybody got their area. Where is not your area? Don't try to get there. Ask the people. The president said the economy is going to grow or is growing, largely dependent on what? Clarence, read that portion, please. I want you to read it before I start. Largely dependent on mining,
agriculture, fisheries.
So you see here, the message that they don't know, they don't hear in that is, the president is saying, the economy will grow, but only a few people will benefit. Why? When an economy, so
go ahead.
When your economy is based on the extractive industry, mining, for example, right? It means companies are coming to mine. You will get royalty. The economy will grow, but it's not benefiting the poor people down there. When your economy is growing from domestic production, that is inclusive. So for you to sit here and be clapping that the economy will grow from the mining sector, it means yes, no. When you're talking about economic growth, you're talking about what is that growth? Where is that growth? Who those growth are for? In agriculture, the growth in agriculture here is saying that the other port, they produce palm oil and send it, no value addition. It will grow because their palm is producing every time and they are expanding their palm production. Go to Kinjo, we take almost $500 million worth of gold from Kinjo, from Cape Bon. What is happening in Cape Bon? So that economy model is 1960, 1950 economy model to say mining will grow the economy and you are happy. No, only a few people will grow because those who the company hire, for example, Musa Bilete Sari, I'm told it's Musa Bilete who is supplying fuel to Kinjo. If that mining company continue and Musa Bilete supplying them fuel, only he the one will get rich, the time people that will be poor.
You're supposed to make business information.
No, I'm just being practical. So the mining in Cape Bon or in Bomi, people are complaining that they put hauling cross, how they call it, the iron ore by road, right? They're using trucks, they're renting trucks. The millionaires who are renting the trucks for them, they're the one who benefit. So my brother, ask the people, what do they mean when the economy is growing by mining? In the 1960s, we had all the mining companies here. My man, you from Nima County. What happened to Limiko, Lamco, all those people? But what did it happen to our country? So the president needs, they need to diversify, they need to move the economic growth to the sector where the poor people are. That is the reason why the president didn't even mention poverty in this speech. Because the growth will not affect poverty reduction. It will not reduce inequality. What is inequality? If you look in Monrovia, the access we have to basic services is very high than the people where, probably in my hometown, in Gawota, where President Weah for the first time reached the quota in Lofa. We don't have internet there. Those are the inequalities we're talking about in the economy. So for somebody to say economic growth, yes, the growth is fine, but where the growth is coming from, who will it benefit, that's what matters. And so the president's statement in that phrase is just saying the economy will grow, but it will grow in favor of few people. Those who can afford to rent houses, those who can afford to rent trucks to the company, those who can get construction to do mining, for example, ArcelorMittal, they will not hire me, they will hire a company that can do drilling for them. And they get foreign companies that are doing their drilling. So yes, the economy is going to grow in the mining sector and not in the field of the Liberian people.
Okay, Mr. Benedict Koloba, thank you so much.
Clarence, I say I wanted to.
You say you wanted to say something.
I want to say something.
Yeah, we'll get the 2 minutes.
The first point I want to make to Lawrence is that he tried to discount the enrollment of volunteer teachers on the government payroll, and he said it's not a new job. I think what the point Lawrence is missing here is that he doesn't know that in economics the reward for work is pay. If you are volunteering for years and you were not on government payroll, what were you getting?
No, but he was talking in the context.
I'm coming.
I'm also coming,
yeah,
Daniel. I'm also coming.
Yeah.
Yelu is speaking in the context of job creation. So if these people have been volunteer for if these people have been volunteer for 5 years, indirectly it means they've been working, they've not been getting paid. So if they are admitted and they're getting paid, now you're creating new jobs.
As far as the government, as far as the system is aware that all those volunteers are not on payroll, there's no obligation to them.
That's not a new job.
Give me a chance. As far as the system is concerned, Clarence Jackson is volunteering at OKFM. They owe him no obligation at the end of the month. But OKFM decides to enroll Clarence Jackson on its payroll beginning January 2025.
Unusual.
It's an employment opportunity for Clarence because he's getting reward.
Okay.
The next thing I want to say here is that he tried to disparage which is very wrong, to disparage the issue of the digital transformation, to say, oh, the government should tell him where the people are. That's been lazy. The entity that conducted the digital transformation exercise for the president, the LTA.
I come in 1 minute. I think you lose.
The next thing
one minute. Yellow point was, you can't just say you train people in RCT. RCT is not as easy as you would say. You train people in what specific
area of
RCT.
He mentioned the specifics. Yeah, what the president said. The program was focused on digital literacy training for young people. These young people were trained how to do digital marketing. You can create an online platform and do your business online.
Okay, sir.
And they also provide.
You can't keep coming.
They provided seed funding. And 15 of these students were given scholarship by the government.
Thank you, Minister.
Yeah.
I want Kanto. No. This is the OK Morning Rush. We're having a panel discussion here. We have Deputy Minister Daniel Sano, former Assistant Minister Benedict Koluba. Abdullah Kiatama is here, independent analyst. Lawrence Yelu Kiatama, we got to move on, my friend. 1 minute. What do you want to say?
I will come.
No.
Everybody come here again.
No. 1 minute.
Let's be honest here. And I think that if we look at the issue through how it affects ordinary people riding through our partisan lenses, will bring clarity to the discussion. I'm very disappointed today, to be honest. This has been one of the most brilliant men on development matters. Very, very brilliant guy. I always admire him, But what he said today shocked me. It could be you.
No, Clarence, I will not allow you to live there.
You are coming.
No, Clarence, if you want to have a show, I will not allow you then my integrity. He's an economist. You want me to bring projector and bring you screen? No, you start with denigrating me. I will not go there. No, I will not let him denigrate me on the public platform. Let him address the economic issues and say this theory he quoted is not the right theory. Fine.
Senator, can you please hold on there?
I will hold on, but correct him on that.
Mr. Minister, please hold on the Katama land. If there is anything Katama says that you want to clarify, we can move on.
Clarence.
Yeah.
Look, nobody has to be an economist to know if you go get a job, you get paid, you improve your family. It's an economic idea. But ordinary person know that. Ordinary people know if you don't have a job, you can take care of your family. It's an economic idea. You don't have to be an economist to know that. Economics is a reality. When the president say what they call diversification of the economy, it will come from mining and fishery. When these people produce more revenue, it will not grow the economy. When communities are getting more jobs, are being hired, like Yellow Year, when a mining company invests in the community, 10,000 local people are getting jobs. You say that's not a growth? When people getting jobs, or Clarence, you come in West Point, 20,000 people out of job. In next month, 10,000 get job. You say that's not a growth. What is that? Be honest, man. It sounds like a village economist.
Okay, so Clarence.
Let me let Clarence. No. Come on. At this point, I will let. Clarence. No, let me let him respond.
Clarence.
No. I mean, 1 minute.
I'm not finished yet.
1 minute. Katama, 1 minute.
I'm not finished yet.
Clarence. Gentlemen, listen. Let me talk to all of you. I don't want this thing to slip out of our hands. The reason why I call you is for the mass benefit of our people. Let's be honest with each other. Let's be careful of our words. We are all intelligent.
But let me
people.
finish.
Katama, 1 minute.
Let me finish.
No, 1 minute. We are all intelligent. I don't want somebody to raise a red flag here. So when we start straining me now, then the people will not benefit. At this stage, I will allow Benedict to come in and
let me finish my thoughts.
Katama, you going
Get him all the time. Let him talk.
No, please.
I will come. Get him the time. Let him end.
Please. Okay, Katama conclude. The man has approved that. You can just conclude. Then we'll come to him. Yeah.
I'm sorry if you felt that I never ever denigrated this man before, and I don't intend to. Let's be honest with you.
Yeah.
I only say
and I like that.
Brilliant.
I like that.
I'm only disappointed because, I mean, Dr. Foster just sent me a message. The Economist. He said, "Why would he say diversification of economy is not a growth? It's not bad for the economy. If fishery is increasing output, and which will lead to people buying fish, paying taxes every time these concession agreements hire people, they pay to the revenue of the government of Liberia."
Okay,
and increase our revenue collection.
How is that not a growth? Ben, you want to say something?
Let's be honest,
we'll
Clarence, I'm always civil. I'm very professional when I come to this discussion because I have served as a national leader, and I was not.
And I want you to continue to be as such.
I was not just an assistant minister. I had the opportunity to work like the minister of planning of the Republic of Liberia. I don't talk off head, and I know Katama will come by here and apologize to me. I said. I didn't say diversification is not good. So maybe he gave wrong information to that economist. If he called, he will not tell you that. I said, the president said the economy will grow, largely depending on what? Mining. If you even check in the national plan, they say mining will grow by 9.5%. I said to you, growth is good. But what matters, where that growth is coming from and who benefiting from the growth. If there is a growth in mining sector, you only get royalty, but it doesn't affect the livelihood of the people. Because why? I gave you an example. ArcelorMittal is in Nima. Billions of dollars investment in Nima. How many person ArcelorMittal can employ? Call them and see whether they got 5,000 people employed. But if you have growth coming from domestic production, value addition, then that growth is sustainable. It's for the poor people. For example, if people were producing cocoa, right? Turning cocoa into finished product. If people were preserving, I will call my sister Estella Liberty. She producing those small things now, turning it around. If the president or the writer will say, we are going to move to domestic production, and domestic production will increase the economic growth. If not get the economic growth, domestic production will affect, macroeconomic stability will come in. The reason I was talking about, but borrow me 2 minutes.
No, let me conclude. No, it can't be 2 minutes. Just conclude now, please.
No, the guys have been coming out, have not come so many times.
Everybody been having time, please.
The reason I said that is, macroeconomic stability is now get on hold and pull. Whole US small, put a Liberian out there. But to make it stable, you must have US dollar sitting in the economy. And the way US dollar can sit in the economy is when Clarence Jackson is producing cassava flour and sending it out of the country, his US comes into his account. Clarence Jackson is not going to use all that US one day. It will be sitting down there. But if ArcelorMittal sell how they call it, iron ore in London or wherever they're selling it, they buy the iron ore from there in London, the US dollar stays there. So that's the reason why.
Thank you, Minister.
No.
I will hold you there. Gentlemen, let me conclude. Lawrence, I beg you. I beg you.
Yeah, so let me conclude by saying.
No, you're not concluding.
No, I'm concluding by telling my colleague that if he doesn't understand anything I say, he should not insult me.
at that point, I think we'll play music. Let's soften the ground small. Let your way small. Yellow, please. I apologize. Let's move on. Let's move on. Katama, you can't talk for Yellow, please. Let's hold on there, Katama.
Even 30 seconds will be okay.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Because the people out there need to understand.
30 seconds,
something.
yeah.
I think
and I'm not taking any other opinion.
I think Minister Koluba is having a serious mistake. He's doing cherry picking on what the president said. It's an aggregate approach.
No. We are going by segment. You guys are not following the conversation. Clarence is asking questions by segment.
The segment we in.
You're talking about money, economic growth.
No. That yellow talk. You currently read our motion. Okay, coming. Let's go there. You read something that we should respond to. Coming. Yellow. I've lost sight of it because I was too transparency.
The economy will grow.
Yeah, I coming. I'll go there because the president didn't talk about money alone.
He didn't say money alone.
Because I got 3 minutes, I chose money.
The state of the economy. Let's go, gentlemen, please. Yeah, I will read it. Yellow, 1 minute. 1 minute, Yellow. The state of the economy for years. The government. Okay, I'll read it. Folks listening, please give me some time. Let me get a thing. Okay, I think I read there. Gentlemen, 1 minute.
You're not able me. Your girl find different panelists.
You're giving hard.
Because I'm going by what they're saying. They say the economy. You don't understand the economy.
No, but the line you told I want. I will read word for word.
A money was growing. It's proving the livelihood of the people. Since 1960, they have
developed.
That's not the argument. You can't do that.
No, Clarence, you're looking for the thing, so we gotta be entertaining.
State of the economy.
Yeah.
The current economic. Okay, we simply did not. Okay, in 2014, 2024, our economy demonstrated resilience and steady growth with a revived blah blah blah. Okay, we have managed inflation, prudently reducing it to 7.1% by the end of 2024, down from 10.1%. Now, the country's international reserve. We go down more money. Okay. Gentlemen,
maybe I can find you.
Because pick it up. The conversation.
The conversation is centered around topics. So if you miss the topic,
issue we are discussing.
You leaving the topical issue. I'm sticking to
it. Picking, and that is not good for the conversation.
I'm not the one carrying the conversation.
No, I think they talk about fisheries. That's where we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta give me small chance now because I lost sight of this thing. I was to accountability now, you people, but they didn't need money alone. They said fishery, agriculture.
Yes. It was an aggregate approach.
Yeah,
it was an aggregate approach. Yeah. And the reason I'm making this clear is Minister Koluba is.
I want you to read it.
No, Benedict, please.
Let me finish.
Benedict, please. Koluba, go ahead.
You've been looking for it, and I'll make my statement.
Go ahead.
I think we cannot do this service to the public when the pointer of the conversation is being discussed, and then we cherry pick one, discuss that one, and make it to resemble everything. My role here as a civil society advocate is to make sure that I balance the conversation.
Absolutely.
And I would not, if the government says something that is wrong, I'm going to hit on it. And if the opposition says the same, I'm going to hit on it. So if you say that it's only about mining, the definition that you are giving will be in mining, but it say affecting lives of people that are being employed. Yes. What's about agriculture? Is agriculture not also saying when the president said there are 10,000 in jobs, or the 4,000 hectares of land that are now building rice on, that are coming now, that we are cultivating rice on.
That they want to grow the economy?
No, are coming now. Be patient. We are not just talking about only the rice that is being produced, but what we're saying is that the aggregate collection of all of these sectors is the one that will grow the economy. You can also tell me
that please.
Domestic.
Can we please move on? Yeah. Thank you. Let's move on.
Now you find it here.
No, please.
I'll look for you. Read it.
Yeah, I will read it later on. Gentlemen, please. Later on.
No, I want Clarence to read.
Here to put on the traffic. I say, don't worry. There's a company here called Banjo Motors. Banjo Motors will take care of all of that. Don't worry. Banjo Motors. They can help you protect your vehicles, motorbikes, keke, and you just name it. Banjo Motors can also do live tracking. Banjo Motors protects your vehicle from theft and misuse.
Now the kind of company we've been waiting for to protect our motorbikes and our car, the keke and all.
Banjo Motors in the R Cafe building next to the JJ Roberts United.
Okay, gentlemen, we will move on now. You know we have to take calls, so let's address this thing and move on. Now, gentlemen, let's go to our second and probably our final discussion. Transparency and accountability as stated by the president. Honorable members of the legislature, he said a year ago, as we began our stewardship and declared that the business as usual approach to governance will be a thing of the past. We remain committed to promoting openness, transparency, and accountability across our government. In line with this commitment, we have supported the independence of integrity institutions. The General Auditing Commission has published results for 60 out of 80 audits, including those conducted before my administration. Key institutions audited include the Executive Protection Service, the Central Bank, the GOL Consolidated Fund, and the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. Some audits conducted before my tenure revealed serious system weaknesses and millions in unaccounted public funds. Lawrence Yelu, 3 minutes: transparency and accountability.
I mean, the good part about that thing is that the president came back with a rendition that will not do business as usual. Mm-hmm. And I call it a rendition simply because...
Don't cherry people.
Go ahead.
Talk about all.
The president came and said, no business as usual again. When this same president, yesterday, in this 1 year, the beginning part, said, look, transparency and accountability will be my hallmark. Respect for rule of law will be my hallmark. There will be zero tolerance for corruption. But there was the other reports. One of the other reports I'm going to pick as an example to show how weak the president has been on business as usual is the fact that the LTA report, you go to the board and sack the board. But one of the persons that is implicated in the report, you have not taken decision. The president approach towards accountability in the country. Look at the budget for integrity institutions. If you say you want to make integrity institutions independent, then you have to support them budgetarily so that they become stronger and they become independent, truly. Because if you only give them money to pay salaries and no enough money for them to be able to carry on operations, for example, pick the LSCC. So the LSCC is in a troubling state. You have the premier integrity fighting, anti-corruption fighting institution by its name. You get a report, the GSC report, you got a pack. They go in the Senate and they're having all of the hearing. I say my staff there, sometimes it gets very funny, right? They're having these reports, the hearings are happening, and some people will not even appear. But all I'm saying is this. The president needs to show more presidential will to be able to take decisive decisions and timely decisions. The president is slow in making accountability decisions. The president's decisions come, it's almost like, oh, I will do this one like this, but I will not take this one. You are suspending people rather than turning some of these people over for them to be prosecuted. Look, the biggest, like I said from my opening statement, if we don't approach anti-corruption in this country in a zero tolerance form, the country is not going nowhere. Every other thing we are talking and say, oh, and we'll put money on this side, we'll put money on this side. Everything will bow down to one simple thing. How is that money going to be used? What is the mindset of Liberians that are operating in that sector? How they are going to use the money? For example, the seed fundings that were given. That's why I'm asking a question. My question is hinged on accountability. So if you say there was seed funding, how much seed funding did you give to one person? Where are those people? So that some of them not go in thin air, or some of the money not end in some government officials' pocket in kickbacks. So we have to be very sure about what the president is saying. For example, the drug issue. President did drug tests, but you suspended the DEA group for the people that are supposed to take the drug exercise. You suspended them for the long years. The investigation report is not in the public domain. Why are we talking? So all I'm saying
they
is
say
that,
with Monassi.
yeah, I don't know what those things are. But right now, Clarence, another issue on accountability. It may not be directly that, but we have police people all over the city. The city is practically policed. Then you say that for motorbike riders, but meanwhile you get Ministry of Transport that is registering bike riders. Why don't you use this ICT form to do hackathon? Hackathon is a way that you hack. It's a technological terminology where you bring young people together to find social solution. Mm-hmm. Why you can't bring them together to amalgamate IT apps so that these young people, these police people, can be on the street and inconveniencing people.
Okay, Minister Daniel Sano, 3 minutes transparency, accountability. Are you people doing very well? Central Bank report up. The president allowed one of the deputy governors there to resign. The president gone. We know where they're gone, and he said he didn't say anything about what the government is doing practically.
Clarence, and I would not want to begin the conversation by responding to what Lawrence said. But here's what I want to say to you. The way to know that the government prioritizes accountability and transparency is to look at the atmosphere that is currently existing within the integrity institution. What has the government done to support existing integrity institutions? The government giving all the support. The LACC now has a tooth to bite. The GSC is doing her work. 1 year on, no auditor has disappeared. The government supports accountability and transparency. By action, practical speaking, the president himself. Today, we're discussing asset declaration. Of course, there were some glitches along the way, but give it to the government. The president places a high premium to ensure that officials of the government are in compliance with asset declaration.
Have you declared your asset yourself?
I declare I got appointed by the president in the month of March. I declare my asset that same month.
2 million.
Every official.
2 million.
Forget.
Go ahead.
I got 5 million.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I said 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Minister, please go ahead and start trying to that one I your business.
So, yes, asset declaration, for example, the president has placed a very high premium on it. There were some officials who were behind the deadline, and the president gave a 10-day ultimatum. I expect the civil society individual to say, yes.
What's the difference between?
I'm coming now.
Maybe I can give you one more, no problem. In the context, no, I can't. You can't tell me what to give you.
I'm requesting for mini. You need to mini.
Wait. No, I can ask. In the context of transparency and accountability, Lauren made specific reference to the LTR coming. All of the board of commissioners who were left. The current man who is heading the LTA was implicated in an audit report, but yet the president still saying he died.
Clarence, the issue of accountability is one of the hallmarks of the government, and I do not want to go into it being interrupted. I was talking about asset declaration, right? The president himself has placed a premium, very high premium, on asset declaration, unprecedented. The president has compelled all of his officials, cabinet members, to sign up to the code of conduct, right? Today, there are unprecedented audit report of the
president was practically begging you all to declare.
Hey, Clarence, stop, man. Clarence, stop. Right? There is
no, I know, but stop. The president was practically begging you all to declare your asset. That's why he did. Fact. That one I'm laughing. Let's go ahead.
Clarence. The office of the president being audited. The legislature being subjected to audit. The government is more open than it was in the past. The citizens are more enlightened about anti-corruption fight today. Why? Because of the atmosphere the government has created. Is everything okay about accountability? No. We came to power on the heels of fighting corruption. The president, out of his commitment, set up an asset recovery team. What did they do? And sometimes we have to help the government. When we talk about fighting corruption, the buck starts with the president, but it's not just about the president. He talked about the Public Account Committee and the legislature. What role have they played? Have they conducted public hearing on the audit report to make recommendations to the president? They haven't done so. So without going to massacre the president on the front to say, oh, the president, as far as we're concerned, has demonstrated a political will. He has given the support. The LSCC today is working. The IAA, the GSC, they are working. We have not undermined them.
Thank you.
That speaks to our commitment.
Let's move over to Kiatamba. 3 minutes. Then we'll conclude with Benedict Koluba, and then we can take the lines.
I will jealously protect my time. No minute will be taken.
Go ahead. 3 minutes, Kiatamba.
Honestly, if I today stand here and tell the president you're doing well on accountability, he will not respect me. He's not doing well. The president.
He like it, but he not make it.
He not make it. He not doing well. That tussle and tussle. That yellow, he not doing well. He can do better. He got a chance. You're not doing well, Clarence. We'll tell you whatever we want. You're not doing well. That's a fact. He's not showing leadership. He's not showing example. And I think he can do it. I think his surrounding have undermined his capacity, his intention to do it. The president is not doing well on accountability, on transparency in the country. That is a fact. Forget about all that thing aside. And guess what? He can change it. I think he has intent to do it, but the vehicle, the people to deliver it, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it, and he don't want to take action on them. If the president does not step alone, asset recovery collapse. Other report languishing, nothing about other report taking place. Still, or Clarence, that tussle, man. You can't take one action on one report. You say the asset recovery. You say the country has been gangrene. You can't nothing. Budgetary allocation. Why can't you allocate more money to people, to services that are impacting people like education? Like he said, this is a civil society champion. He's making some profound point. I think we should listen to him more. Why can't you do that? But the budget's there for the men at the top. No, they think we'll do so. We'll lie to back. He lying to himself. Anybody tell you something? It will be too late. I've seen this thing like bro. Get a moment where the people give you chance. They say, okay, we can be hopeful. The other one is, let me tell you something. One thing that shocked me at LDA, when the president took too long, when the evidence for Benedict Colbert to make decision is in front of him, then he takes 6 more. There's something not right. If the evidence under the water, in China, but if you do that, the president has not shown political will. He has not demonstrated political will.
I beg to differ.
No, of course. Your job is to differ. Yeah. You are hired to differ.
It's my job.
3 minutes.
You are hired to differ with me when I say this thing. But listen to me. I come in. Clarence, here's one of the things that disturbs me the most. Every investigation in this government, the results never come up. And that bothers me. I think the president needs to step up differently. I think people need to tell the president differently. I think the cycle of the president have to listen to different kind of people about things. But let me tell you something. Forget about what we say in the room. Go on the streets, Clarence. Go on the street and hear what people say about the president's role on accountability and transparency. It is a bad assessment. Forget about us. We the Cree people. Go to the ordinary people and ask them. Do a focus group. We did a focus group 2 weeks ago about 3 different sector groups. It was a damning critique. So this is the presidential. My suggestion would be review all the accountability initiatives and see which one has gone through. Let me tell you something. The president has told yesterday, said because of my accountability, 2 big things have happened. We launched an investigation. We discovered this. We saved $10 million from waste and abuse and lack of clearance. There would have been a powerful message yesterday. The whole time was shocking, but it didn't happen. So my advice to the president, change direction. Get new set of thinkers and advisors that tell you, this is your chance. You could be great, but this thing could hold you down. One of the reasons why the people wanted Buakai was things would change. The country transparency was missing. This is a chance.
Thank you, Kiatamba.
Thank you.
Let's conclude here and open the lines. My brother Benedict Koluba, 3 minutes. Transparency and accountability.
So, Clarence, I always told you when I come to studio, I don't talk about sentimental issues. I talk about issues that I have fights on. I will close on accountability by saying, accountability is for you to be fair to the people and tell them what actually will happen. Accountability is for you to tell the people the growth I'm talking about in the fishery sector. It is about the ships that come to fish in our waters and take the fish out of the country. They don't bring it in the country. If they were bringing it in the country, docking here, as the Director General always says, and Liberian companies are processing the fish and sending it out, US dollar will come back. It will affect the macroeconomic stability. That is transparency. Transparency is if you tell the people that the growth I'm talking about in agriculture is purely about the big companies that are sending raw material out of the country. They are not processing them. That is transparency. Transparency, I can't talk about it more than what they're saying, right? What I would like to see, not to regurgitate some of the things they've said, I'm the person who is not too down. If you put the GSC and the IAA, I will take the IAA 60% to the GSC 40%. Why? I don't want to wait it happens. The government spend a lot of resources. Some of the reason why the government is not prosecuting people is the cost of prosecution is very high than even what the president stole. If we could strengthen, I would have seen action from the president saying, in order to curtail this thing, we can't wait and spend our state resources running behind people. We have enforced or reinforced the mandate of the IAA to the extent that no request goes to final administrator without clearance from the IAA. I mean, we're controlling corruption. But let somebody still will spend money to run behind them. I don't know how transparent that is. So if the president, if this government is eager to fight corruption, we should get 60% of the funding they have for integrity or transparent entity to the IAA. They should put premium on why we established the IAA. We established the IAA to curtail. If there is premium on the IAA, it means that no minister should override what we call opinion of the IAA staff. So if you overrule it, that corruption by it says you go to jail. So if IAA bring Clarence memo, we're doing. So like one of my colleagues said, you see, one of the things I see in our country, sincere people are always mocked. And they both think that only one group of people can lead the country. No, it's not possible. These dynamics we're bringing in, maybe the minister will tell the president or my uncle, I know my uncle is listening to me, maybe one day they will start to pay me for some of these critical views, some of these suggestions I'm making.
Okay.
I'd like to close on this.
Yeah, close. Let's move on. We'll take the lines now.
You see...
No, not 5 minutes. Benedict, go ahead.
You see GDP growth? GDP growth doesn't mean poverty will reduce. So when somebody say the economy is growing, go to West Africa, compare economic growth and poverty. There are countries where the economic growth is low, but the poverty is increasing.
Okay, Benedict, let's hold you there, my friend. Don't mind Daniel Sando. Daniel declared his upset when he was Deputy Minister for Technical Services. When they reappointed as Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, he had never declared. The law said you must have declared.
Well, he didn't get a new thing.
Well, that's the truth. The man has not declared again since he became Deputy Minister for Public Affairs.
So I said he has not declared.
No, he has not declared.
No. I would defend him on that.
No, what the law say?
He hasn't acquired new thing.
No. The man supposed to declare again. The man supposed to declare again.
Okay, get clean that one and change the date. Get change the date.
0777009950555 I'm not giving any single caller probably more than 45 seconds. The first call is from France. Frank Gibson. Frank, go ahead.
Good morning, Clarence. Good morning to your guests. You know, sometimes I'm a little bit baffled. You know, it was the day before yesterday, I listened on Radio France International. They were quoting one Katama from Monrovia. And I guess that's the Katama in the studio. And I recorded that, it's on my phone. Katama views at times on those international media are different from the views sometimes he gave in Monrovia. That's my disappointment.
What was his view?
If you listen, now, and that's what I'm coming to. Katama gave a picture to the Radio France International that the state of security, the state of the economy in Liberia is deplorable. That report is on radio.
No, wait. You thought two things. You said the state of security, the state of economy. What did he say?
It's going downward.
But what I say here, the economy bad.
Sorry?
You said the man said the economy is bad?
It's bad.
But the man saying the city.
I said the city here.
I can play it, no, it's just I cannot say you the
but I said the city here.
I forgot when I was recording, I was in the video. When I got to know that I was in the video, it was too late. But I got to record it before. You can even put the phone.
But why is he saying this morning?
Why am I saying the morning, Chief?
Sorry?
Why is he saying the morning?
Katama is in the studio. He's president of the border.
No.
Protect my guest. I mean my caller. Okay, thank you. Let's go on this other line here. Probably he will send me that recording. Katama, the man will send me. I'll play yo. Hello.
Play. I will play.
Good morning, sir.
My name is James and I'm calling from Magnet Street.
Yeah.
So I want to ask Mr. Katama, simple thing. Mm-hmm. Somebody met two, and somebody left it at 4. Who which one is better or messy?
Somebody left 2 and somebody left.
Somebody left 2 and then left it at 4.
Oh, somebody met 2 and left it at 4.
At 4, thank you. Yeah, because he was talking about what he calls the former minister was acknowledging the fact that the level of massive economy.
Okay, thank you. Nobody, I'm taking more than 45 seconds. You come straight. Call your name. Let's hear you, sir. Hello there.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I like the call.
Thank you. Let me say good morning to your panelists.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm Delaney. I'm Ishmael J. Delaney.
Yeah.
Honestly, listening to the president's speech and those coolies analysis, I mean, there are some facts which, of course, you cannot just bury. And there are some issues that the president says. I think we will have issue with the rhetoric, seriously. Like, for example, administratively, in terms of the setting up the war crime code, the setting up of the ombudsman, asset recovery, we think that yes, he said he was going to do it, and he did it. So in terms of administratively, yes, for that aspect, I think there are some improvement. Although there are other pitfalls that is within the administrative aspect that will also need to be discussed too as well. But in terms of the economy, seriously, the serious issues that were discussed during the campaign time, which is the bread and butter issue. In terms of inflation, I don't think inflation is on the decrease, seriously. Inflation is on the increase.
Okay, thank you. We'll hold you there. Let's go here. Taking you. I got to get many colors.
Mr. Jackson.
Good morning. Good morning.
And good morning to your guests. My name is Mama Sikava.
Okay.
Let me thank them for the civilized conversation. I'd like to speak to 2 issues that probably time did not permit you to touch on regarding the SONA.
I hope we'll have the time. Yeah, to get you.
Regarding the SONA. Well, the SONA has exposed the government in different areas, but I'm looking at 2 areas. One, the SONA has exposed the government in the area of division. Yesterday, SONA showed that Liberians are hugely divided and that the government has not made significant strides to ensure that our people are reconciled. Yesterday at that program, did you see Madam Salih, the woman who Mr. President was a vice president to? Are we asking ourselves, why was she not there?
Do you know why she was not there?
Mr. Barker should be and his team should be answering that question because she should have been there. Have you asked yourself why Tiawon Gonglo, as an opposition leader that supported his government, was not in attendance? Have you asked yourself why the major opposition political leader wasn't present and so many others?
I have to reach out, but I'm told President Weah was invited and he turned it down. I mean, I have to find out. They want it.
So do you think if they had that good rapport, he would have turned it down? Are you looking at factors that led to him turning it down, if it is true that he turned it down? Okay. And the second thing is, the place the government was exposed is the absence of the other branch of our government.
Okay, my man, see, we got to let you go. You've spoken all your points. Let's let you go. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, good morning.
Thank you. This is Gabe. I'm calling from the Boozer Island.
That's not your full name there.
Gabe Morris.
All right, Mr. Morris.
Clarence, thank you for the conversation. I think this conversation is good. In order, I think the government are listening. My sister who just dropped the line talking about government divided. So that government divided citizen?
No, but what do you mean now? Store your own in your own.
Let me tell my own.
When you say government divided citizen, what do you mean now?
But citizen divided, you don't know?
How?
Clarence, you see me for yourself, you are a journalist in the media.
Okay, thank you. I don't understand what you want to say, but hello, let's go back to this number right here. Can we come here? Hello?
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Brown Tate.
Mr. Brown Tate, let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. And let me thank the gentlemen in studio. I think they are doing fine. But you see, mostly, when it comes to economy, most of the people that can write those speeches, they are too academic. And I think Yelu said something. Liberalization policy, when you come to the economy, the government one intention on the liberalization policy with all the growth and all those kind of things. If Liberians are not getting the needed contract, they are
those goods and services that they're supposed to be exclusively for the people, and you find foreigners are doing them, then why will go in the pocket of the Liberian people? So then, even though academically you may have grabs and other things, but in reality, the people are not benefiting, and I think it's wrong.
Okay.
Then, before I grab my line, yeah, it is true that the indicator training is only 10 days, because I follow it in my county in Zuedru at the youth center.
Okay. I think Benedict Colobar is vindicated on that one there. Hello.
Clarence, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
And let me greet your panelists. Good morning to them and the brilliant discussion. The only thing is that
just call your name, sir.
This is Gabriel Yikan.
All right, Yikan, let's hear you.
Former senior advisor to the President of Communications. Yeah, from a communications perspective, Sando is struggling miserably because it's indefensible to defend anything that is bad. But somebody just called and said, who divided CDC? Is that a discussion you are having? On growth versus development.
You're talking about you want to answer all of
this? God's wrote and told you between 1960 all the way up to 1970 something, there was growth in Liberia, was it accompanied by development? And this is where Ben Coluba is absolutely right. It's a brilliant analysis making. It is domestic investment that sprung growth at the level of the state. It is not this export economy thing we're talking about. So you can deal with the abstract, but look at the rule of law, for instance. Talk about transparency. The president has failed miserably. This is the first time in Israel where the sanctity of the legislature has been abused by an assault on lawmakers, even in their own offices. The first time where you have two speakers, the first time, now come in, the judiciary did not lend legitimacy to the bogus assembly. It was a national convocation. Are you asking yourself some questions? Let's be honest with ourselves.
Okay, thank you, Nika. Let's go to Clyde Edward Tume, and then we can take one more because I need to give my guests some time to conclude. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
I just want to make some contribution on the economic argument. I'm not an economist, but I hold a bachelor's in economics, and I think I still remember my basic economic principles. The fact that the government has projected economic growth on the mining sector does not mean that all other sectors of the economy will be dead. That's a fundamental poor reason. And what job creation does is that it has a trickle-down effect on the economy. It increases consumer spending, thereby affecting GDP, business investment, tax revenue, etc. So even if there are 10 jobs created in the mining sector, hypothetically speaking, because I know it's going to be thousands of jobs, those 10 household spending will increase, and by virtue of the increment in that spending, there will be increase in consumer spending. So you can limit, you can try to put a political spin on your professional argument. What it does in effect is that it makes you to look bad in the eyes of the public.
Okay.
From the electricity sector, since this is where I found myself, the president also make mention of the fact that the sector has the sector has improved when it comes to reliability in the supply of electricity. LDC has signed an agreement with Cote d'Ivoire. This is something that we're not able to live up to the past 4 or 5 years.
Thank you, Clyde Tume. Thank you. We'll take our final caller. Then I will go one round around the table to respond to anything some of the callers say, and then when we come back now, you can pile it up and conclude. Finally, hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I want to say hats off to the studio guests. Everyone try to push their own lines as they see it. And I just want to talk on a few other things. I think
what's your name?
Eric by here.
Okay.
Now, the president missed out on the fight against corruption. The main reason why he missed out is because without even having constitutional authority, the president office, through Great Speed, took over 500,000 for NASCOM. They are yet to tell us anything about it. So if you have the president office tainted, how you think he's going to fight others? Why you think the man from Commerce Ministry just he resigned and he's just in the thing sky? What happened to him? No investigation, nothing. Listen, the fight against drugs. The president also missed out on it. Clarence, all of our sectors, in fact, I just sent you a video, look at the drugs now entering the schools.
Okay, sir. Thank you. The drug now entering the school. Lawrence Yellow, 1 minute. Anything any of the callers say you want to clarify or respond to? 1 minute, then we'll come back down to.
Well, I just firstly want to say thanks to the callers, and I know that many Liberians are listening. I'm reading, multiples of texts. Just a few things I want to say. I think our political class has the first time syndrome. When it was CDC, it was everything first and first and first. If you check the president's speech, it's also first. We the first. We the first. You guys just need to dress away from this whole first thing and give us practical reality of transformation in our life. Simple. Whether you first doing something, leave it with us and we'll judge it and we'll say who the first is. I think one of the critical pieces that we have not done, the government has not done, is just simple. The trust issue between the governed and the government is very bad. They need to fight to build the trust by allowing Liberians to be able to benefit from it. And I think one of the things that one of the caller, Ishmael, talk about is the issue around the establishment of the War on Economic Crimes Court. What does that mean? The Ombudsman, what does that mean? Those are very good things. And I strongly support the establishment of the War on Economic Crimes Court and also the Office of the Ombudsman. But if you saw the president and rule of law component, he's proposing a lot of new legislation, a lot of new organizations, let's say government structure. We're trying to expand a government that is already crowded.
Thank you. When we come back, you'll take the rest of the time, conclude. Benedict, let's hear you. 1 minute. The caller's concern.
Yeah, so the caller's concern. What I'd like to say here is that I heard a caller talking about his economics, he's talking about GDP growth. I've never disputed GDP growth here or economic growth here. What I've said, when you're talking about the economy growing, what I'm interested in, as my colleague label me as a rural economist, village economy, whatever it is. As a village economist, my interest is how the village people's life is transformed by that growth. So I will be finding out where the growth coming from. Is it coming from the pepper they growing, or the bitter ball they growing, or it coming from the iron ore and ArcelorMittal sending across? If it is coming from the pepper, the bitter ball they growing, it means that growth is sustainable. It will affect their lives. That's why I talk about. They say GDP growth is not good, but I go beyond GDP growth to look at the well-being of the people. The other thing I like to state here clearly is that my foundation about the extractive industry. You can read the AFT meeting report. The Unity Party ran the country for 12 years. They had agenda for transformation. They hired a consultant, and the consultant stated that, and this is the C model of economy. They say they need to move away from the e-cliff economy, which is predominantly on the extractive industry, and go to the real sector.
Okay.
Let me close on this. And the way you do that, how the president said it, the economy will grow in the mining sector, but if you take the dividend from the mining sector and put it in the sector where the poor people are, then of course the extractive industry is compensating for the growth in there. Okay. But you're not doing that.
From minister to minister, Daniel Sano, let's hear you. 1 minute, then we just go around the table. You guys can conclude.
No,
you don't get it, Mark. No, I say we're coming to you, but we'll
sometimes we are constrained to digress from the substantive issue to respond to. And it's very sad because I know this is a very interesting national conversation we're having about.
I hope you could just stick to it.
The bread and butter issue.
And I have two legs.
No, I'm not.
Go ahead.
I can be distracted. I listened to Mamasi who called and say Liberia is divided. Liberia is divided. I mean, come to think about it. Her own political alignment is the reason why the country is more divided today. President, we have addressed the legislature for 6 times. Did he ever took a moment to call for national unity? Yesterday, the president's speech. What did he do? He called for national unity. The other president was here calling people enemy of the state. They were weaponizing against the media. There were somber disappearances. Auditors died in broad daylight. Today, you have a president who is calling for the National Conference on Unity. The president is concerned about the division, but who are those that are buffering or permitting the division or divided the country? It is them. Because when we say we want to fight corruption, somebody who serve in a position, LSG call you to account for your action or your stewardship, you say no, that we shan't. And this is coming from the leader himself. So they're not supporting the fight. We all say the country is being victimized by corruption. But when they say Senator McGill can go account for your leadership at the Ministry of State, they say we block the rule.
Okay.
So it's wrong.
Conclude. We're coming back around the table for finally concluding. They want just 1 minute.
So I'll just address the guy from Radio France International. Yeah. My position is clear. I do interview Associated Press writers and Radio France International. Washington Post guys is in town here, and I was doing a tour of Monrovia today. So I do a lot of connections, relations with international media on Liberia. So when I speak, they also check on the ground. They're not stupid. They got people on the ground that check. So when I say the economy is struggling, and that's a reality. That's the president's own statement. So, and I also said some other things. So I think that there's something they call framing. Some people want you to speak in their context. My choice of language, my thought process are different. So I don't understand what you're talking. The other one is the other guy that called. He made a good point. You know, I always say listeners are smarter than us because they hear better and they see our flaws better. So he said, my uncle, you know, traditionally from Lufa to my uncle, so I have to be very respectful. Anything I said, I'll be held in traditional contempt. So I apologize for anything I said wrong. But when someone takes 6 bread from you, inherited 6 bread from you, he said 2 and you reduce it to 4. The other man can't take only 2 from you. You got a right to complain about other men you took it from. The other man got to complain about you took it from. Because it's less and less. So it's just simple logic. Okay. The other one is, I think, look, let us all agree that agriculture is not the extractive sector. We do agree. When I say, I used to be a program director in a grant writer. So when we applied, they'll say, we applied for one area to talk about how do we change negative perception of media in the U.S. press, $10,000. That's not only, they'll ask you, what are the sources of revenue? Every revenue add to your overall revenue, so it's a growth. So when any aspect, isn't an addition or subtraction, anything is an addition, is a growth. You're growing in number, you're growing in revenue. So the concept is just basic. If there's any diversification of revenue mobilization, take for example, the only way
your 1 minute, but you will still remain just close now.
Yeah.
Then we'll go to the other people.
Yeah, so if I'm raising
your party
$1, like what we saw in the asset declaration, say Daniel Sadu got 2 million. I don't know what that No, I'm adding.
One plus concluding.
So in conclusion, here's what I'll say.
You got a fussy guy.
He fussy. Here's what I'll say.
Not fussy, but you're very fussy.
The president must change direction. The current direction is not sustainable. It is a trajectory that will lead to a train wreck.
Okay. Daniel Sano.
Look at me. You give me.
Conclude 1 minute. Yeah.
And he also should listen to the people. I wish the president would do a listening tour across the country. It will be helpful. Something about him will change. The other issue is, I think the president should focus on reconciliation. Let us be honest. Joria was poor on reconciliation. Bwaka is poor on reconciliation. Both of them were poor on reconciliation. They did not even attempt to say, let's convene leaders, different political leaders. And this is very strange. I did not see it. The other one is I will tell the president, all these agencies and ministries will not produce your legacy for you. Find 3 things. Maybe agriculture, maybe health, and build a huge, massive legacy.
Thank you. Legacy for yourself, President Wakai. Daniel Sano, let's hear your parting comment.
After all said and done, we have to conclude by re-echoing the good things from the SONA. I think the people of Grand Cape Mount County can now be assured that help is on the way. In 1 month time, by this March, the Medina Robertsport Road pavement will begin. And guess what? We are using 1 stone to kill 2 birds. When that road is paved, it will not only bring about comfort in riding to go back to Robertsport. Robertsport is a tourist destination, the best destination for surfing in Africa. There are people who come from across the world every day to go to Robertsport. That road is a major hindrance. Mind you now, tourism is a part of the president's arrest agenda for inclusive development. So we'll be achieving that. Infrastructure development and booming the tourism industry also. Road infrastructure, the president laid out yesterday. He laid out that out of all of the kilometers of road in the country will have just 1,600 paved. His government is doing extremely well. The ambitious coastal highway resettlement action is ongoing. People have been identified
Minister.
property along the way. So we want to address the critical problem of the economy. The president also threw light on the energy sector.
Thank you.
Which is good for our country.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing those days where
Minister Koluba, let's hear your comments.
So, I'd like to start by saying Katama owes me an apology for the way he demeaned me. But it's okay. It's part of the intellectual process. I always come to the disco with the...
I thought he apologized if he said anything against you.
No, that's not apology. He has not recognized he said something. He said, if I...
Okay.
Yeah, that's not apology. But he will think over that. But let me start my minutes. What I like to say is that I've come to this studio to contribute. I've always contributed to the national disco. Those that don't understand within the space that we're talking, I didn't say, or we're not saying economic growing is bad. No. We're saying where the growth is coming from is what matters most. And that's why the Liberian people care for. If the growth that the president is talking about will come from my village economic perspective, that pepper and bitter ball value is being added to, it will affect the life of the people in Gamutan, rather than the iron ore that is always been, exported. You could export those iron ores, take the money and pull it in those places, then you can also talk about that. Finally, I like to state that for the generality of the speech, the president just read a CDC turnover note, evidenced by all the rules that the president mentioned, contract has been signed, an agreement signed. I can send you that data, but go online and tap Minister of Public Works turnover notes. All the roads projects were in the turnover note. So the sonar was just
CDC turnover note.
CDC turnover note.
Okay, Yellow finally, man. Let's conclude. The news is up.
I just firstly want to say thanks, Clarence, for this invitation. I think this is a good panel. There's a good style of panel. And I just want to advise the president, send few advice on few things. One, have meeting with different sectors, especially civil society. George Weah was here, he didn't meet civil society as a group. And he didn't meet the media as a group. And the president needs to meet civil society and the media. The president gone 1 year, and we are keeping him on our radar as well. The next thing is, the president needs to focus on accountability, firm accountability, and not just a lip service. Anti-corruption should be an issue where his decision must be speedy and must be relevant based on the facts before him. One thing the president said I'm very happy about, and I'm hoping that, and we didn't discuss it, but I'm bringing it up, is constitutional review. Most of the rule of law crisis that we are having in this country is because our constitution, and quote me on this, our constitution supports the culture of impunity. When the constitution gives amnesty to people who mass murder people in this country, that constitution needs a review if this country must go forward. And thanks so much, colleagues.
Mr. Yellow, thank you. Kiatamba Danielson, thank you so much. We are looking for a team of experts in education. Tomorrow we could do that. My name is P. So the news is up. Bye-bye.
10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Breaking the local news.